Hello, Jerry. How you doing, man? Good to see you. If you like to, come on up. Uh, Wanted to get here a little earlier, but was a little late getting home and just finished up my supper. So, so we're doing all right. And got my supper. I gotta. We're doing all right. And yeah, we're trying to keep everybody right. Hello, Leonard. How you doing, sir? Let me get this. Let me get this. Posted. All right, everybody. Anybody that wants to come up, come on up. We'll get this party started. And welcome to my live stream. Right now, all I see is Jerry and Leonard, but you're both welcome to come up. And today was a lot of fun. We got about 6 to 8 inches of snow last night. And I had to go out and clean my car off and then drive into work. I barely got to work on time. That was loads of fun. I drove anywhere from 10 to 30 miles slower, depending on where I was at. Hey, Tim, Dan, come on up if you like, guys.
Hey, Tim. Hey, Dan. Jerry.
Like I said, it was a lot of fun this morning. Now, the roads are clear right now, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it is.
Although there's talking about possibility of rain. But as long as it doesn't get cold enough to freeze, we'll be all right.
Yeah.
And so, there we go. Get that where I can't see the other. So how you doing today, Leonard?
I'm pretty good so far.
Well, that's good. I mean, what is it there? It's 8 o'clock, a little after 8 here. What is it, after 7 or after 6?
Just a little after 7.
All right.
Yeah, we're 1 hour difference. I'm Central and you're Eastern, right?
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure how far over it would be before you got to 2 hours.
Yeah, it goes all the way to the New Mexico border, I think.
I was thinking New Mexico was 2 hours difference, but I wasn't sure.
I believe so. I wouldn't swear to it, but I believe it is.
California is 3 hours difference between the Eastern and Western.
Yeah.
My mom and dad would always know when I was drunk when I was in the Navy out there in California, because a lot of times I'd forget what time it was and I'd call home and so what are you doing, man? You know how late it is? It's like it wasn't that late where I was at, we were 3 hours difference. It'd be midnight or later back home. It's like, sorry. That's it. You're drunk again, aren't you?
Oh, me?
Hello, me. Yeah. Hey, Dumpster Fire and Gutterball, how you doing, man? Welcome to the channel. Like I said, anybody that wants to come up, come on up. The only thing is, we'll talk anything you want but politics. Let's leave politics out of it. That gets too heated sometime, and it turns some of the subscribers off, and I just soon not do that. And
I agree.
I was going to go to up to around Batavia this 3 days off, but I was wanting to go up there and go to that maple tree farm and try to get a video of them making maple syrup, or at least get a video of the operation. I can do that if they're not making any.
Right.
They got where
That
they make that opened up.
yeah, I look
And,
forward to that. That's gonna be cool.
I was going to do that this week, but my brother-in-law called me and said, that's out in the hills in the southern tier area. And he said they're calling for snow all day Tuesday. Well, Monday they're not open. So we were going to go Tuesday. And so it's like, well, we'll wait till next week. We'll try again next week. It'll still
Yeah.
be open then. They're like I said, they're closed every Monday, and the rest of the week they're open. But I was going to drive down on Monday, spend time with my sister and brother-in-law, then my brother-in-law and myself and one or two other people probably run down and go to the pancake place. And I did the video, plus I get my buckwheat pancakes.
Yeah.
And then I drive back home on Wednesday, because I have
Yeah.
the 3 days off. It really does suits me well for that. But when they're calling for, and you're talking about, you're going to be going up hills and down hills and some gullies.
Oh, right. Right.
It's like they're calling for snow all day now. We'll just push it off. It's not like I have to do it now or not do it at all.
Yeah.
But if that was the case, maybe I'd go ahead and push it, but I can't see it. Not when I can put it off another week or two if I have to.
Right.
And, but that one light on my camera went off, so that makes it a little darker.
Yeah. What part of West Texas is Mountain Time Zone, Jerry? I knew New Mexico was, but I thought it went on the border.
Well, Texas is so large, they probably have 2 time zones there.
Well, apparently I wasn't aware of them having the Mountain Time Zone out west, but that's what Jerry says.
Yeah.
And I think he lives out there, so.
Yeah, he lives in South Texas.
Yeah.
So, like I said, and if you look at the map of now he said West Texas though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I would think East Texas would be more like Mountain Time, but
No. West Texas is like the border of New Mexico.
Yeah.
So that's Mountain Time.
Yeah.
Arizona and New Mexico are Mountain Time.
All right. So is West. So it goes
apparently,
whatever they.
Apparently part of West Texas.
Yeah. But that's all right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, must be a sliver of it there from El Paso up to Odessa.
That's what he says. Yeah.
Yep.
But,
okay, I didn't know that, Jerry. I thought it went right to the border.
Guys, if you haven't done it, just do me a favor and hit the thumbs up. Like I said, I'm not. How shall I say this? I'm not monetized and won't be for a very long time because I only got 470 subscribers last time I looked, which was today. So we got a long way to go. And I'm nowhere near the 4,000 hours?
Yeah.
I'm nowhere near that either. But I like looking to see, hey, you got this many thumbs up. I like looking at the numbers.
Yeah, Tim, no problem. If you come up with something, let me know. You could always IM me.
Well, like they said, you were on Steve's live stream this morning.
Right.
They were saying they got agencies that you can hire people through them, so you don't have to worry about paying out. The agency takes care of all the other stuff.
Right.
You call the agency, say, hey, look, I'd like to hire somebody to come in once a week, twice a week, and how much? Because somebody was asking about that. And how much would it cost? And they said, well, you just go to one of these agencies and they'll take care of everything. They'll tell you how much it is, and anything over that, anything besides what they're charging you for the girl goes to the girl from what they charge you.
Yeah.
I mean, your one price includes everything, from my understanding.
Yeah, I'll check that out also.
I want to be honest about it. If I do move to the Philippines, that's why I'm going to want a girl to come in about once a week. I mean, come in, clean the place, because I hate dusting and, all that good stuff. And if once a week's not enough, if it's not too much, I'll go to twice a week. But I don't mind the cooking. I don't mind doing my own dishes.
Yeah.
Uh, I
Well,
hate cleaning. I hate cleaning the stove.
yeah. Yeah, me too.
Yeah. But like I said, cleaning the tub and all that good happy stuff, I can do it. I just don't care for it. If I can afford to pay somebody else to do it, I will.
Yeah.
Right now, I do it myself. But I'm trying to.
Yeah,
get some
that's
bills
fine,
paid
Tim. I'm not in a rush. It's going to be a few months before I get over there.
But, we had a good time last night on Dan's channel,
Yeah, we did.
and we know good and well Dan's getting ready to go get some Dunkin' Donuts.
Yep.
And Mama Rose channel, how you doing? Happy Sunday. It's Saturday here, and welcome to the channel. If you want to drop your link, type in L. If you have a channel, just type in LLL, and my Nightbot will drop your link for you. All you got to do is type in 3 L's, and my Nightbot will drop your link so everybody can see it. If you feel comfortable speaking in English, come on up and talk with us. You're more than welcome to come up. If you got any questions to anybody in the panel, or if you get, there you go, Mama. That's perfect. It'll get there for you.
Hey, Mama Rose.
Yeah,
Right.
but now, Tim, that 5,000 a month, is that like all the time, or is that like once or twice a week? That's what I want to know, because that's all I don't want a full-time housekeeper. I really don't care for one. I mean, there's nothing against them doing it. I just don't. I think I have a need for it now. Like I said, once I'm there, I may change my mind. Because 5,000 is not that much money. It's but now if that's 5,000, it's only once a week. That's a little expensive for once a week, but that's not too bad. I wish I could get that here.
Yeah. Well, you probably could for $5,000.
Yeah, but yeah, $5,000. I'm talking about the $100.
Yeah, I know.
I could get one a week. Come in once a week for $100.
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, I could.
I haven't priced it for a while, but I used to know women that would do it for like 60 a week or 60 a day. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
so,
Once a week. Yeah, once a week.
yeah,
But and it also depends where you live.
right.
Some of these girls, if they're working as a janitor at the grocery store, now this has been a year or so ago since I joking around, asked a girl what it would cost to clean the place, how much it would clean my apartment. She said same. I'd have to make the same thing I'm making here, and that was $15 an hour.
Yeah.
So that'd be about $45, $60 a week.
Yeah.
So if I had the extra money, I would love to do it.
Yep.
And Mama Rose is saying hello to me and you, Leonard.
Hey, Mama Rose, how are you doing?
And all right, so 1 p.m. your time, Mama Rose, I'll be in bed asleep. I won't be able to make it.
Yeah, I will too, probably.
I believe you're in the Philippines. And I'm here in the United States, and I'm on the Eastern time. And right now in the Eastern time, it's 9 o'clock, a little after 9. Well, it's a little after 8 in the evening here, not 9 o'clock in the morning. It's a little after 8. Now, we got a time change coming up. I believe it's March 12th. And after that, well, it'll be 12 hours difference. All right, that's good, Mama. I wish you luck with your live stream. You said it's your first live stream ever.
Oh, wow. Good luck to you. Very much good luck to you.
Well, it's our first live stream as a monetized channel. Let me correct that. She goes, I'm invited all here for my first live stream as monetized channel today. So congratulations on being monetized. I'm glad to hear that. I hope the channel continues to grow. And anytime you want to come and visit our channel and drop your link and invite people to whenever you're doing one. And you're more than welcome to come. Yeah, you say 9:20. Well, I got 8:17, so in the evening at PM. So now our clocks could just be off a little bit, but it's basically
Right.
13 hours difference right now. Come March 12th, that's a Sunday at 2:00 in the morning. My time would be 2:00 in the afternoon, your time, or 3:00 in the. I don't know what time it'd be there because we change our clocks forward an hour at 2, so we jump to 3, so it'd be 3:00 your time. We'll jump ahead an hour and we'll be 12 hours behind you. And that starts on March 12th, which is a Sunday.
Yeah.
And so I'll get an hour less sleep than normal for to go into work that day, but that's fine. I have done that many a time. The only thing I regret about working on the weekends is my live stream. I've been doing my live stream on Saturday night, which is Sunday morning in the Philippines, ever since I started. And I'm staying with it. But now, when I first started, I happened to have weekends off. I switched to working weekends so I could have 3 days off instead of 2. And I love the 3 days off.
Yeah, Tim. I'm gonna need.
Tim, we're in yesterday.
Yeah.
That's true. We're in yesterday.
Yeah, Tim. To answer your question, I need kind of a caregiver / housekeeper because I'm still using a walker quite a bit. If I can get out of the walker before I get over there, then of course I don't need as much help.
Yeah, but and like you're saying about the walker, once you get out of it, even if you're over there, then you can cut back on the help
Exactly.
you need.
Yeah.
You know, so just make sure they understand that. Hey, look, I need this much help because I'm in a walker. I should be getting out of one. Once I get out, I want to cut back on the kind of help I need. So they know up front. Okay, he's talking. I don't know Tagalog or something to Mama Rose. Jerry is, so I can't read it. Oh, Tim said he'll ask his girlfriend when she comes over.
Cool.
So he'll probably know before we get off.
Yeah, she'll probably be back or home by then,
Yeah.
or over there by then.
Well, she usually gets there before we go off the air.
Yeah.
Usually, you know, can't say.
Yeah, because he usually drops off when she gets there. So.
Yeah. But. Now, I got something to say to Dan. Dan, tell ma'am Mimi hi. Ben, you're not coming up. I thought you might come up and we'd continue discussions. But that's all right. Like I said, we'll just talk about whatever anybody wants as long as it's not politics. Now, Dan, Steve admitted today that he's on the higher end of what he calls the sweet spot budget. You were talking about, the budget there with how Steve was talking about how much it costs. Well, he said he's on the higher end. He's up close to $3,000 or more a month. He's up around $3,000 a month.
But he's paying rent on 3 apartments, so that we know of.
No, he's paying rent on 2, but he's also paying. No, the other two kids live with him. The girl has her own.
He has one apartment that he lives in. He has one apartment that the daughter lives in, and he's got another one for storage.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. He did mention the storage.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Then,
so,
yeah.
I mean, that explains a lot of why his expenses are higher.
Well, even that, that's where he's living at. That's probably only around $300 a month plus utilities.
Yeah, probably.
Plus, he's also paying for his daughter's college.
Right.
And
I think he includes all that in his budget.
Well, it's got to be with him. It would be in his budget.
Yeah.
Because he
Yeah, and that's
includes
fine.
he includes everything, savings,
Yeah.
everything is included in it. Now, see, for me, the budget's what I plan on spending.
Right.
He says budget and income are interchangeable.
Well,
I
yeah, and
don't
he includes
interchange them.
savings, and he
Yeah,
includes savings part or as part of his budget, and
yeah,
that's actually a pretty good idea.
yeah. I don't consider that part of my budget.
No,
I
but
could.
it's
The
a
reason
good
why
idea. It's a good idea to include that in the money you're going to spend.
no, that's money I don't touch.
Right.
So that's why I don't put it in my budget. My budget is what I spend.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at
I
it.
mean, I see it both ways, and I kind of see it that way also. But I understand why he does it that way.
Oh yeah, well, like I said, there's a lot of people that do it that way. It's just that's not my way.
Yeah.
Because I look at the money. Here's the money I got to spend. This money over here, I got to forget about. It's going
Right.
somewhere else. I don't want it. It's like I got two checking accounts. Right now, I have two checking accounts. The reason for that is one checking account goes to certain stuff, the other goes to other things, and I keep them. I can have one checking account. I just find it easier to keep everything separate.
Well, I used to, when I was working still, I had a certain percentage of my check going to a separate bank.
Yeah.
So my savings automatically came out of my paycheck before I ever saw it.
Yeah,
Man,
like
that's so much easier. So much easier.
That's why I got two different checking accounts.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes I have to transfer some money from one to the other to help out.
Right.
But most of the time, I don't have to do that.
Right. And it's just so much easier if it never shows up in your checking account. Or, I mean, if it never shows up in your regular account, it's already in savings. And you don't see it.
Once I get the bills paid off, the one will become my savings account. But right now, I'm using it. I use my Social Security to pay off the certain bills, and I use my income from work to pay. My income from work. If I didn't have the credit card bills and the bank loan, all right, I could live on my income.
Yeah.
That would leave my Social Security for, that. But I'll probably, because I have my utilities taken out of my Social Security, I'll probably continue that even after get everything else paid off. But that still leaves me a good sized chunk of change to save. And I'll have the bank loan. It'll be paid off it should be paid, if I got it figured out right, end of May. If not the end of May, end of June.
Good luck on you.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be one or the other. It's right there.
Right.
I had enough. I could have paid it off, but then I wouldn't have been able to cover a couple other bills.
Yeah.
And it's like I've just done it because it's we'll just pay it this way, and that clears up well over $300, almost $400. It's real close to 400. It's not quite 400. Yeah. That's every month. That money's going to be available. Now that money will turn out. I will turn around, add that money along with what I've been paying onto another bill, and nail that bill, and that bill will be paid off 6 to 7 months, probably after I get the bank loan paid off. With that extra money going on that.
Well, that sounds like a good plan.
Well, as long as things don't kill me.
Yeah.
I can say, right now I have a little extra every month, but not a lot. And I'll take that and do something. Maybe throw a little more on one bill than I normally do.
Right.
And,
well, if I can ever get caught back up, I'll be able to do that. I got buried behind when I was waiting for my Social Security to kick in.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing. You had to wait on yours because you were disabled.
Right.
I got mine. I was still working.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the truth. The year I took it, if I'd have known I was going to work as much as I did, I would have waited a year. Because every year you wait, you get a little more money.
Right.
And I would have gladly waited that another year if I'd known how much I was going to make the next year. Because I averaged 60-some to 70-some hours a week for a year working. I wasn't counting on that because I didn't get a lot of overtime until this one thing happened. What happened was the company I was working for was bought out by a competitor.
Uh huh.
And then COVID hit. And so, and everybody knows I'm a security guard. Where I work, they could not bring anybody in from the outside. It had to be one of us that was assigned there to work.
Yeah.
We ended up being 2 to 3 people short almost the whole year. So we had to work a lot of overtime to cover because they couldn't bring anybody in. They weren't allowed to. The contract wouldn't let them do it.
Oh,
we were on a national contract. I worked over 100 hours in 1 week. I mean, I don't think that whole year, I don't think I ever worked less than 48 or 56 hours, somewhere in there.
Yeah. That makes for a good yearly salary, but it's rough. It gets rough on you.
Yeah, it got rough. It burned me out. I really don't care for overtime too much anymore. But if it could have kept going for another year, and I'd known it was going to do it, I would have waited on my Social Security because every year you wait, the more money you get.
Yeah, up till you're 70.
Yeah, up until you're 70.
And I don't know after 70.
No, 70. That's it. They just at least they used to. I know a guy that wasn't going to take his Social Security, and at 70, they just automatically started sending it to him.
Well, I haven't heard of that, but
well, this is back. This is over 30 years ago. I was over 25 years ago. I was trying to think where I was at.
Yeah,
close to, between 25 and 30 years.
Yeah,
and the guy when I first was talking with him, he was 68. He said, "I don't know how long I'm going to work. I'm going to just keep working." And then he tells me, a couple years later, he tells me, "Well, he's retired." I said, "Why?" He says, "They started sending me my Social Security check." He says, "I'm not going to work if I'm getting my Social Security. I'm done." In other words, they're not going. I can't add any more to it. I got the most I'm going to get out of them.
Right.
It's enough to live on. So, plus he get his retirement from where he worked. So he just said, "I'm done." I mean, he said he didn't put in for it. They just started sending it to him.
Yeah. And, I hadn't heard of that happening, but I know
how many people
stuff.
How many people do we know that work to 70?
That's right. Most of the guys I know are pulling the pin at 62.
I waited until 66. I got my full benefit.
Yeah.
But like I said, I would have waited another year or two if I'd known what was going to happen.
Right.
Because that kind of worked out. I was getting a little tight on money. I thought, well, this will help me out. I can take that.
Yeah.
Make this.
Yep.
And because I was going to take it a year earlier. And I went in and talked to the Social Security people. And they told me, "Well, how much are you going to make? What do you think?" And I told them, they said, "Well, you won't get a check for 5.5 to 6 months because you can't only make so much until you're 66. Then it goes up."
Well, once you get to your full retirement age, you can make all you want, and they won't take any out of your Social Security.
No. They when you're under their full retirement age, it's like at that time. Now it's been a few years back. It was like 17,000 or so that you could make.
Well, yeah, if you're under full retirement.
But once you hit 66, which is my full retirement, you can make 40-some thousand.
Okay, now
but then you hit 70, you can make all you want.
Yeah. Now I asked my the attorney I had helping me with mine to get my disability and everything. Now I got my disability in September. In October is my full retirement age. So it switched over to regular Social Security in October.
Yeah.
But they did let me keep the higher amount, which the SSDI was. Not a lot, but a little. And I asked my attorney, I says, "Now, how much can I make now that I'm full retirement age without losing any of my Social Security benefit?" And he said, "You could make $1 million and wouldn't lose a penny of that."
Well, they may have changed the rules, but when I talked to them, they told me you can make $40-some thousand.
Yeah.
Which I don't make that much. Now, the year I'm talking about, I did. I made more than that.
Right.
But the next year, like I said, the overtime was gone. So The year that I did, I was just under the amount. He was wrong, and I could make all I want. But
Yeah,
it was 40-some thousand I made that year.
Well, now I do think they did change it because I know back a while back, I was told that they would take part of your benefit until you got to be 70. But now like I say, I talked to them just this year, but that may have changed since you
Oh yeah, because I'll be
signed up
70 this year. Yeah, I'll be 70 this year. But Tim said he applied for his SSDI when he was 50. Tim, my dad got it at 47. He was 47 when he went on total disability. He went from my father was like 6'3", almost 6'4". He weighed 258 pounds, strong as an ox, and he lifted something wrong, and he went from 258 pounds down to 150 pounds in 3 months, and never worked another day the rest of his life.
Wow.
So, yeah,
that's a shame.
Oh yeah, he was a truck driver. He drove cross country, and he lived. And back in the 60s, this is what happened back in the 60s. A lot of drivers help load and unload their trucks.
Right.
And he lifted something wrong, and that was it.
Yep.
And so that's one of the reasons why I'll never be like my grandfather, who worked till he was 82. Well, he worked beyond that, but he worked a regular job until he was 82.
Yeah.
And he voluntarily retired because they were getting ready to lay somebody off. And there was a younger guy that was going to be laid off because he didn't have as much time as my grandfather. And my grandfather said, no, the kid needs the job more than I did. Well, the kid was around 40 years old and had 3 kids of his own. Well, Grandpa quit working the job that he liked, that he'd worked for I don't know how many years. Went out and bought a pickup truck and started hauling scrap for everybody. Because he didn't want to stop working. He died at 92. And like I said, my mom's 97. So
my granddad was like that. He was a dairy farmer, and he ran that dairy till he was 85 or 86.
Yeah.
And then he turned it over to his sons, and he ended up living till he was 96.
Yeah. Now I had an uncle on my mom's side. Now I don't think he was blood relative. I think his wife was my grandmother's sister, if I remember right. But anyway, he lived to be about 96. He was a farmer.
Yep.
And up until he was around 90 or so, he cut his own yard. And he still did for a while after that, but he couldn't cut the hills, so his boys went out and cut the hills for him. And then I got to where we cut the whole yard for him later on. And his mind was sharp as a tack until about the last 3 months of his life. And he lived to be 90. Was it 96 or 96? He was like 11 days short of either his 96th or 97th birthday.
Yeah.
Now, my mom did have an uncle that was blood related who lived to be about 97, 98.
Yeah.
That was her mom's brother, her older brother. He lived to be that long.
Yeah.
And he took off. Now, it was my Uncle Orange. Yes, his name was Orange.
Yeah. I think you mentioned him before.
Yeah. He's the one that took off and didn't tell anybody where he was going, and hitchhiked down to Philippa, West Virginia from Terre Haute. He went down there to die. He decided time to go back home because they were my grandma and her siblings were all raised on the reservation down there.
Yeah.
And nobody knew he was down there until after he passed away. They called his daughter to let her know.
Yeah. Yeah, Jerry, I think you're right about all the states and the rivers and the Gulf. But I did not know that Van Horn was in Mountain Time Zone. I don't think I've ever pulled a map up and really looked close.
Well, he says, actually, Leonard, he says, just west of Van Horn.
Well, yeah.
It's Mountain Time. So it's just out of it.
Yeah.
That's the way it reads.
Yeah. I read that too and just misstated, but I do that a lot. So anyway.
Now, Jerry, if you consider yourself at 48 as an old person, That's a state of mind.
Absolutely.
Uh,
I wasn't an old person when I was 65.
I don't consider myself old, and I'll be 70 this year.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if I ever told you this story. When I first moved out to New York State, the office was in Rochester, New York. I had to go there because each state requires different training.
Right.
So I had to go there for my New York State guard training at the office. And the guy that was doing the training, he walked around and acted like he was an old man. And he's going, "That's old, folks." And he keeps looking at me. "Isn't that right, Larry?" I'm going, "Old? Hell, I'm only 43. What the hell are you talking about old?"
Yeah.
He was my age. But he looked and talked and acted like he was old.
Yeah. I've seen guys like that. Women too, but mostly guys.
I'm just saying, Jerry, that is a mindset. You considered yourself old when you were in your late 30s. Now, I might have told you guys this story. I was sitting in a bar in Terre Haute, Indiana, talking with the owner, John. I can't remember his last name, but the bar was Fourth Quarter. It was called Fourth Quarter because back in the old days, 75 cents was for beer, and the fourth quarter was for the pool table. And that's how he came up with the name for the bar. And we're in there talking, and I'm 32 years old at the time. And this girl's over at the bar, at a table with her girlfriends, bemoaning how old she is. I think she's going to say she's 29, going on 30 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, I'm old. I'm so, hey, Monroe, I'm so old." And then she goes, "I'm a quarter of a century old." I was 25 years old. I said, "You're old?" I said, "Darling, I'm ancient at 32, and poor old John here is done dead and buried." If you're old. And John was probably around 50, if that. He was probably around 50.
Yeah.
But it's like,
hey, Dodger Blue.
Hey, Dodger Blue. Dodger believes that Van Horn is about in time.
Yeah, because Terlingua is.
He says real close, and it is mountain time.
Yeah. So. And I couldn't say because I haven't been to either place.
I've not been there. I've been to California.
Yeah.
Been to Washington State. Been to Hawaii. I've been to Texas, but it was, God, I was what, 14, 15 years old? About 14.
Oh, that was a minute ago.
Yeah, I slept a time or two since then. So, yeah. Doctor, if you want, you can come on up. Anybody wants to come up, the link's right there. Just click on it. We'll get you in.
Yeah. Hey, Dodger, how are you, man?
I understand that, Tim. If I was in the Philippines at the time of the pandemic, I'd have been one of them that would tell that I couldn't go out.
Yep.
That might have made me feel old too.
Yeah, it would have been me too. Even though at that time I was fine.
I was still pre diabetic, but I was still in decent shape. Compared to, right now. But I was younger. But and the thing about my job, you're talking about pandemic, so many people had to stay home. I had to go to work. I didn't get laid off. And I'm looking at all these people that made less money than me going to work and were getting paid extra because of the pandemic, and they were making more money than me staying home. It's like, dang, why can't I get laid off?
Yeah.
So how you doing there, Monroe? If you want to come up, you can come up, buddy. Life in North Carolina is his first name is Monroe. I don't know his last name. I've checked out his channel some, and He just got back not too long ago from the Philippines. Monroe, Jerry does stay active. He does get out and walk a lot. He likes to do walking videos, so he is active. But he still has that mindset that he's old. He needs to get out of that mindset. I mean, you can't change your age.
No,
you can change your mindset.
Yep. And I didn't consider myself old when I was 65.
Yeah, like I said, I'm 69
until I had the stroke.
Yeah, but that
made me look at things different. But
I know I'm older. All right, I do know that. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not older, but to me, old means you're going to sit around and do nothing. Oh, that's not going to happen. That's my mom.
Your driver, Tim.
Yeah, baby boy. Congrats.
Yeah. All right.
You know they're happy.
Yep.
Unless they were wanting a girl. Well, I know a family that I knew, Malaysian family. I knew them back in Indiana. They were going to college here. They had, was it 4 boys? I think it was 4 boys. And she finally had a girl. That made her happy as all get out.
Yeah.
Another friend of mine, also a Malaysian couple I knew, he had all girls and kept having girls.
Well, my mom had 3 boys, and they decided they were done. She wanted a girl so bad she could taste it, but it just wasn't happening.
My mom had 3 girls, 3 boys, and then a girl. Now, there was another boy in there, but he died when he was only about a week old. I don't remember him. He's the brother I had between me and my younger brother. I thought he was stillborn. I found out later. Matter of fact, when I was back home last year, talking with a mom, that's when she happened to mention that, he lived for a week or so, whatever, because she was saying some people came to see him and then he'd already passed away before they could get there. So he was born alive. I just don't know how long he lived after he was born, but I do know it was a boy.
Yeah.
And before I wouldn't bet you on it. I thought that's what I knew, but I wasn't sure until last year. Like I said, my mom she's reminiscent about the past, and so yeah, so there would have been 4 and 4, but instead there was 4 and 3, and I'm the only one still of the boys still left alive. I've outlived both my brothers by a long shot, especially my older brother. I got him almost doubled in age.
Wow.
Now, he died around, I got to try to remember what year he died. It was either 35 or 37. That's all he was, 35 or 37 years old.
I remember you saying he died young. I couldn't remember the age.
Yeah. But either he was 35 or I was 35 when he passed, and he's 2 years older than I am. I want to say it was me, but it could have been him. So that's why, like I said, I'm not quite doubled his age yet. But yeah, now my younger brother, he was only, I want to say 57. And, well, he died, if I remember right, 2015. So that was 8 years ago. It would be 8 years ago this time frame.
Yep.
I'd have been 61. So he'd have been 56. If I remember right, I'm pretty sure it was 2015. Might have been 2016, but it was right in that time frame. I want to say this. So you take 8 years off my age, then 5 off of that because he's 5 years younger than I am.
Yeah. Hey, Tim, do we need to start calling you Lolo?
Is Lolo grandfather or is that a grandmother?
No, Lola is a grandmother.
Lolo's grandfather, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know a lot, but I know that much.
I knew Lola or something like that was grandmother.
Yeah, Lola is. Because when I first moved into this place, we had a caregiver here, and we called her Lola. She's
Okay.
Filipino.
All right. Now I know Tito, I think, is an uncle.
Something like
It,
something
might
like
be,
that.
it might be depending on what area you live in, but there's Tito Tim, and I think he said it was uncle, and he's in Dumaguete area. Now, Caillou is older. It's an older person. It's in other words, a younger person would call you Caillou or Kaya, however they pronounce it.
Koya.
Koya. But
I get called that
that's a
all the time.
respect. Yeah, like I said, that's for respect for. That's just showing respect for you as an older person.
Yeah.
Poe is somebody's close to your own age, and it's just showing respect to for guys. Yeah, Tim says Tito is uncle.
I thought it was.
Well, there's a like I said, there's a Tito Tim. He's in Elo. That's where he's at, and his channel is
Well,
Tito
that's
Tim.
Messiah too, right?
I don't know. He just goes by Tito Tim.
Yeah. I think Elo is still Messiah, but I might be wrong.
But
I get a little hedgy when I get away from like Cebu and Dumaguete area.
Tina is Aunt. All right. Thank you, Monroe.
Yeah. That's that.
Aunt is a female.
Yeah. That's like it's like a lot of the no, actually that's opposite of what the Hispanic language is.
Yeah. Well, a lot. Some of it's the same, and some of it's totally different.
Right.
You know, it's kind of a bastardized Spanish language. You know,
they've got their own language, but they've added some Spanish words to it.
That's what I said. There's a lot of Spanish influence in the language,
right?
But it's not Spanish.
And some of the dialects more than others.
Yeah, but like I said, though, like peso.
Yeah.
That's Spanish. And the Mexicans use it as well. That's Spanish. Right. It's for money.
Pretty much all Latin American countries do too.
Yeah. It's also known as dinero in Mexico.
That's just in general for money.
Yeah. And I don't know how many people use. Hey, Ed, how you doing, man? Come on up if you like. I don't know how many different countries use Donata, which is it's nothing. Donata.
Yeah.
That is in Mexico, from my understanding. That's Mexican. I don't know if that's Spanish or not. I know Mexicans use Donata. I took Spanish back in 9th grade. You know, one year of Spanish.
Yeah, I took it 2 years in high school, but it's not the same as what they speak in Central and South America.
Well, we were being taught Mexican Spanish.
Oh, they taught us Castilian.
They figured. Now, the guy figured, hey, what language are you going to use? Most likely use what dialect?
Right.
Mexican. You know, so they were teaching us. And but I remember very little of it. We're looking at 50-some years ago.
Don't remind me.
Well, I've been out of high school 51 years.
Yeah.
I graduated in January of 1972. My graduation date was my mother's birthday, January 20th, 1972. It was a Friday.
You graduated early?
Yeah. I graduated with more credits than I needed. And I went in the Navy Friday, like I was saying, I don't know if you caught it or not. Friday, here in the States, Friday, anywhere, Friday, March 3rd, was 2 anniversaries for me. March 3rd, 1972 was a Friday like this year. And that's the day I was sworn into the Navy and went to boot camp. I was sworn in on active duty on March 3rd, 1972. Now, March 3rd in 1999 was a Wednesday, and that's the day I quit smoking. So March 3rd has kind of a good meaning for me. I mean, it's an important date to me. I enjoyed the Navy, so I don't, but I'm going to tell anybody that wants to ask me, if you're going into boot camp, do not go in on a Friday. Don't do it. Well, I went in on a Friday, and you don't do anything. You don't even get a company. You spend the whole weekend doing nothing. You're all right, Ed. I hope you enjoy your Cheerios. Ed said he's eating his Cheerios right now. But we sat around all weekend, didn't do anything, and then on Monday we were assigned our boot camp companies.
Yep.
And got our uniforms. But like I said, we didn't get any of that until Monday. So I sat there all weekend, couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything.
Yeah, you didn't even have your IDs or anything, so you couldn't leave camp.
So, you were just stuck there, and it didn't count towards your graduation. Now, if it counted towards your graduation, I'd say go in on a Friday because you have a great first weekend.
Right.
But it doesn't count. And then on that Monday, like I said, they take you down. You get what they call R&O, which is receiving an organization. You're given your uniforms, and you go get your hair cut. And then, like I said, they assign you to a boot camp company. And I can't remember if that was Monday or Tuesday that we went to the pool, because you really can't start boot camp in the Navy until you pass your swimming test.
Yeah.
And so I think it was Monday. I think it's before you actually get your company. You go, you take your swimming test. If you flunk it, you got to wait until you pass it before you're given a company, and they will try to teach you how to swim. Now, if they can't teach you how to swim, they kick you out. You can go join any other branch you want, but you can't join the Navy. I doubt if the Coast Guard would take you.
Probably not.
But the Marine Corps, Air Force, and Army, you're still qualified to go in now.
Yeah.
In the Navy, you have to be, and you can be going into a rate that will never go to sea, but you will not go to start boot camp till you pass that swim test. And that's mandatory. And
yeah.
Part of that swim test is you got to swim so many laps around the pool within a certain time length. If you're a strong swimmer, you got to swim in a certain way. If you're a weak swimmer, any way you can do it, get around that pool. And then you have to learn stay dog paddle for so long after you get around.
Yeah.
And then after that, they teach you how to make life vest out of your clothing.
Yeah.
But you pass the swim test first, then they teach you that.
Right.
You learn how to make a life vest out of your shirt, out of your pants. You learn how to use your Dixie cap to help keep you afloat. All that good stuff.
Yep. I mean, I have not been through it, but I know enough people that have.
Yeah.
Because I didn't serve, but I wish I had. Really wish I had.
I went with the moderate swimmers because I hadn't been swimming for a while. And they got mad at me and said I should have went with the strong swimmers. I said, look, I have not swam. I have not been in a pool or anything for about 6-7 months. I wasn't sure how well I was going to do. You want me to do this? I don't know if I can do it. Right? I mean, you give me a couple of weeks, I knew I could do it, but I wasn't sure about right then.
Right.
And so
hey, Poor TV.
Hey, Poor TV. Now, Poor TV, if you got a log, what you do, type in LLL, and my Nightbot will drop your link. And if you want to come up and talk to us, come on up, and we'll let you come up, and you can talk with us. You can talk about your channel. You can talk about anything you want, as long as it's not politics. I got to mention that. I mean,
Yeah. No, I know. We kind of overdid that the last time, so.
Well, Jerry, I used to smoke Marlboro Reds, Camel Filters, Winston's, Viceroys, Pall Malls.
All the bad ones.
Oh, yeah. Then I went to the lights. I went to the lights. The things I didn't smoke, I did smoke them, but I didn't smoke them on a regular basis. I would bum if I was bumming a cigarette for somebody, I'd smoke menthols. The only menthol I smoked that I actually bought a pack of was Bel Airs. They were a real light menthol. I smoked them for a short period of time. But I'll tell you, it was the toughest thing I ever did was quit smoking. As far as I'm concerned, it's the toughest thing I ever did. I dreamt about cigarettes for damn near a year after I quit.
Oh, man. You don't dare touch one now.
No. I've not had a cigarette, like I said, now in 24 years. Now, I smoked for over 27. I smoked a pack a day, average pack, more than a pack a day for over 27 years.
Yeah.
I smoked for, let's say, probably over 30 years that I smoked. And probably close to 33 to 35 years. But a pack a day, it wasn't until I hit about 18. And that was 27 years after I hit 18 before I quit. And I had my first cigarette. I wasn't even 10 years old yet. But I started smoking on a somewhat regular basis around 11, 12 years old. And it was like a pack a week, if that much, probably less, half a pack a week at first.
Well, I consider myself lucky. I never started. Like everybody, I tried them, but I didn't like sore throat. I got a sore throat from them. And then I thought, why do I want to start something everybody else trying to quit?
Well, my older brother didn't smoke. He didn't drink. He tried both. He just didn't care for it. Now, my younger brother was worse than me. He never did quit smoking. He smoked for well over 40 years. He smoked, like I said, he died around over 40, almost 45 years. He started smoking around 10 to 12 years old, too. He drank, and I drank for years, but he was still drinking when I cut back way back. But that's how I did it, Jerry. I just quit cold turkey. And I can't tell you how many times I tried before that. And I tried it with the patch. I never did try the gums. But I tried it with the patch. And all I did was cut back on smoking but still smoke when I used the patch. And I decided I was going to quit smoking, and I picked March 1st, not 3rd. I was going to quit the 1st of the month. And I went on the 3rd, I bummed a cigarette off a guy at work. And I light that sucker up. I have a couple hits off of it. I looked at that cigarette and I said, either you're going to quit right now or you're going to go out and buy a pack of cigarettes. Did not take another hit. I just tore the cigarette up, just put it out, threw it away, and I hadn't touched a cigarette since.
Yep.
But I couldn't tell you how many times I tried before I actually quit.
Well, of all the people I know that quit smoking and actually stayed quit, they all quit cold turkey. All of them tried slowing down or patches or whatever. They all end up going back smoking.
Well, the thing is, I would slow down. And I was smoking 2 packs a day for a while. And I was chain smoking. How I broke that habit was I forced myself to go 5 minutes after a cigarette. Then I forced myself to go 10 minutes. And I worked my way up to where I'd wait and have a cigarette once every hour. That was it. And that got me back to around a packet. Now, when I was off, I smoked a little more. Because, you'd have a beer, you'd have a cigarette. So I smoked around a pack. And sometimes I get myself down to 4 or 5 cigarettes, maybe a half a pack, and right back up to a pack.
Yep.
And I'm going to be honest with you. If I could have stayed smoking 5 cigarettes or less a day, I'd probably still be smoking today. But every time I got down to that, I'd stay there for a little bit, then right back up to that pack. And so it was either all or nothing. And I finally was able to quit and get rid of all of it. But man, it was tough.
Hey, Jerry, start thinking young thoughts, man. Hang out with some kids.
Or hang out with some youthful people your own age, people that
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to hang out with kids. Just find some people, a group of people close to your age that are very youthful, active.
Yeah. Energetic, get out, do
Yeah.
things, change your
It's like,
eating habits.
well, that's the thing, though. Jerry does get out and walk a lot. He just got to
Yeah.
change that mental aspect of it. And that's why I said get around some other people who exuberate youth that are close to his age, and then maybe it'll rub off on him. Because Jerry, you want to be around as long as you got your health, buddy.
Yep.
And like I said, I'm looking at minimum probably 4 years before I can move to the Philippines. Minimum 4 years. I could do it in 3, but that would be not enough money saved. Just not enough money saved. I could probably do it in less than 3.
That's my biggest issue right now. I want to pay off my credit cards, but
no, that's what. No, I'll have all my bills but my car paid off in less than 2 years.
Yeah,
or just about 2 years.
Right.
1 year is not enough savings to me. Because you got to have that money for emergency. You got to have that money for startup.
Right.
2 years would be enough for that. 3 years would be better. So realistically, I'm thinking 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
And that all depends if I still have my health.
Right.
I hope to God I do. That's why I joined the gym. I joined the Planet Fitness so I can walk more.
Yeah. No, you're doing what you need to do.
Oh yeah. Well, today at work, I work 7 to 7. Planet Fitness on Saturday and Sunday is only open 7 to 7, so they're closed as far as I'm concerned today and tomorrow both.
Right.
Because they don't open until I'm at work, and they close when I get up. By the time I get up.
Yeah. So your weekends are shot for there.
No. Actually, I walk quite a bit over the weekend.
Well, I was just saying you can walk at work. So.
Yeah. On the weekends, I can. During the week, not as much.
Right.
I can walk more on the weekends because there's fewer people. I'm working in a warehouse. I go in that warehouse, and I might not see anybody the whole time I'm walking around on a Saturday and a Sunday.
Yeah.
I walked over 11,000 steps today. I'll do about the same tomorrow.
Yep.
Now, during the week, if I'm not going to the gym, I'm only walking 3,000 to 5,000 steps. That's it. If I don't go to that gym, I'm not getting those steps in. Now, once the weather gets nicer, I'll start getting more steps in.
Do you have a fitness tracker on your phone or on your watch?
Yeah, on my phone.
Yeah. Well, make sure you turn that thing on when you go to work.
It's always on. I don't turn it off.
Okay.
I don't turn it off.
Well, check it on Saturday and Sunday and see just how many steps you're actually getting.
I told you over 11,000. I did over 11,000 today.
Oh, well, shoot. They say everyone wants to do 10,000. But I don't know if that's necessarily right. But
usually on the weekend, I get anywhere from 8 to 11,000.
Well, you're in good shape, man. Then
I'm not in good shape.
I mean as far as your numbers.
Oh no, because like I said, on Thursday and Friday, I don't get anywhere near that much.
Yeah.
Now on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I usually get around 8,000 or more.
Yeah.
I don't normally get to 10, but I get over 8. So. And that's with going to the gym and everything else I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have it on. It's just on the one phone that I carry all the time. Now, sometimes I'll take off and forget it, but I usually have that phone on me all the time. Except for, at night when I'm in bed.
Yeah,
Tim, when I first started smoking, and this is in the States, I could buy a pack of cigarettes out of the machine for $0.25. And that's with taxes. Now, that's was in Indiana, too, because taxes are on us. And they wouldn't sell them to me if I went inside. The cigarette machines would be outside of businesses. They'd be at the gas station outside, at the grocery store outside the bar. All that good happy stuff that you can just walk up and put your quarter and get a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, I remember those cigarette machines all over the place.
Oh yeah, and then when they started cracking down on the age in my state, they made them move them inside the business so they could.
Yeah. Could monitor them. Yeah.
Hey Ed, how you doing?
Hey Ed, how are you? I
You
remember
got Mr. Denoy here.
machines all over the place.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Not bad yourself.
Oh, it was a rough day. I woke up in the morning. I was going to go for a long walk, and that's my routine.
Yeah.
And my tire was flat. And
Well, a tire being flat doesn't stop you walking.
well, it does me because I really depend on the car too, for later in the day. But here's the thing. Here's a question for everybody. Okay, so I called the insurance company and they put on the donut for me. And then I drove over to a tire place, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so they checked the tire. They sprayed it with what do you call it? Soap suds or whatever.
Yeah,
that's
soapy water. Yeah,
that's
Right.
basically what it is.
They couldn't find anything. Okay, so then they said, well, if you can, just wait a while, and we'll dunk it. We'll put it in water, and we'll look for bubbles. We'll actually dunk it in water.
Yeah.
So I called back. I went home. I was, I waited a few hours. I called them, and they said, we still can't find a leak.
Well, with temperature changes, sometimes the air will just work its way out of a tire.
Or the air pressure will change because
right.
The air pressure will change because of fluctuation.
Right.
Because it did become warmer today.
Yeah.
You think so?
Well, usually
it happens sometimes. I used to work in a couple of tire shops when I was a kid, and that does happen once in a while.
Really?
Or it might be a real slow leak out of the valve stem.
Yeah.
Or
it could have been somebody let some air out.
That too.
That's, I was thinking that, maybe last night some kid came to my house and let the air out.
Hey, that has happened before.
Especially if somebody was mad at you.
Yeah.
Well,
we had tires come in, and you got to take the valve cover off to put some more air in and blow it up so you can check it, right? And a little rock fell out.
Yeah.
They put a little rock in there.
Yeah, well, they checked
on.
Tim, they checked the valve stem.
Yeah.
When they were checking the tire, everything looks good, and I don't know. It's a puzzling thing, it really is. But like somebody said, Leonard said the temperature change. We did have a temperature change.
That does affect them.
Tim just said also the valve stem could be loose.
Yes.
Yeah, no, they checked that. So they called me and they said, why don't you just leave it here overnight and we'll look at it tomorrow morning. And I did, because I'm riding on a donut, the little donut.
Yeah.
Yeah, you only get about 50 miles out of those damn things.
Well, yeah, you don't want to use them too much,
No. I had one that said 75 miles and I ran it bald.
Yeah.
Really? You ran 75,000 on a donut?
No, 75
miles.
75 miles is what it was.
Oh, I thought you said
I had to drive to work. I was on my way to work. I had to go to work, and then I had to drive somewhere to get it fixed. So it already had a couple of miles on it. So by the time I got to where I could get a new tire, I'd put 75 miles on it. It was bald. I tell you what, the person that invented the donut should be taken out and shot.
Yep. They should just put a real spare tire in there and be done with it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Like they used to.
Like they used to. That donut is that was somebody trying to say, oh, well, look, we could save some money by having this small tire.
Yeah.
Larry, you don't know. You don't know.
And that's an emergency.
And then when you buy a new car, you don't even get a donut. You get some kind of little sealant.
Fix a flat.
They don't even give you a donut today. I mean, I've kept my donut over the years.
I haven't looked at mine. I got a 2021.
You probably got a can of air.
Probably.
I'm guessing if you got it.
I got AAA. I just call them. I don't care what I
Yeah,
get.
yeah. Well, that's what I do, but
Yeah.
it's easier on the insurance on whoever comes out to do your work. It's easier for them if you got a donut or a spare tire.
Yeah.
But I like I said, I'm getting these cars. It used to be it was real simple. You lift it up. They
Yeah,
had that one spot. They had that place there showing you right where to put the jack. And you lift that up. Then first you break the lug nuts loose. Then you lift it up, took the car off, put the spare on, tighten it up a little bit, drop it back down, and dog it down.
Yep.
yeah.
You can't do that anymore. It's just, you got to get under here. You got to do. I'm too old to be playing that shit.
Yeah. I'm too old. I need someone to come out with a big hydraulic jack, and that's what they all come with. Not a small hydraulic jack, a big one.
Hey, I had a 3-ton hydraulic jack. No, I had a 5-ton hydraulic jack, but I was driving an F-150, so you need a little more rate. But I never had any problems with it.
Anybody remember the old bumper jacks?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That last time I changed the tire, I still had a bumper jack. You had that little slot. There's a little slot in the bumper on both sides.
Yeah.
Where you put the bumper.
You had a high-end car. You had a high-end car. The other cars didn't have that little slot.
Well,
You had to hook on the bumper jack to reach down and grab the inside of the bumper.
I had a couple.
Even I didn't know that. And then came the scissors jack. You remember that?
Yeah, the scissors jack.
Yeah, those things are terrible.
Yeah, were they bad?
They were knuckle busters, man. When you first started them, you had to get it going up first before you even tried to put it under there, or you were busting your knuckles.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess the scissors was safer than the bumper jack, but
it probably was. But it was.
I imagine. But however, you might get your foot underneath the car while you're trying to do the scissor and a drop on you, because those things were notoriously tip over.
Yeah, well, the bumper jacks were famous for killing a lot of people. They would.
Yeah. If you didn't get them exactly straight, they would slide, either go sideways or backwards, forwards, something. They would fall off.
Yeah.
And then we had the little high lift jacks.
I did the same thing. Once I used that one 75-mile donut. It was actually a little bit bigger than most donuts. It was a Ford Mustang. I had it in my Ford Mustang. It was almost the size of a full-size tire, but it was just a very cheap, a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
And
Tim uses a full-size tire for the spare. I suppose that's a good idea.
That's just common sense.
Well, what I always did after the first time I changed the tires on any car.
Tim says the temperature could have made the bead come loose. What is the bead?
That's where the tire itself. It's where the tire itself seals to the rim.
Yeah.
If
that's that kind of bead. I got you.
Like that kind of, and there's a deal about that wide, goes all the way around the tire, and if it's in the rim itself, it's got a spot where that goes right against right all the way out against the thing.
And sometimes if you hit the curb, that could cause the bead to separate for just a little bit.
Yep.
Well, is that repairable, or do you need a new tire?
Normally you just air it back up and it pops back out.
Oh, okay.
And if it doesn't, they take the air all out of it, break it loose,
and then put it back on.
Put some soap back on it, put soap around that bead, and then air it up again. It usually pops right back on.
Yeah. As long as you didn't bend the rim.
Right.
Oh, no, the rim's not bent. But
I'm just saying, no, if the rim's bent, then you got to get a new rim because it's not going to take a seal.
Yeah, right. The rim looks good.
Yeah.
But
like I said, on the spares, every car I've ever had, whether it was a used car or not, when I went and bought new tires, because I try to put 4 new tires on all the time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you bought a car used, one of the tires aren't put on that way. So I always took the best tire that was on the car. And
put
if
that
it
in
was
the
better
trunk.
than the spare, that took the place of the spare. that spare came out and the new tire went on it.
Yeah.
So I always had a good spare in the back end of my car.
Yep.
Now, like I said, the Ford Mustang had that donut in there, so until I had to use it, I didn't have a full-size spare in there. But once I did use it, I ended up with a full-size spare.
You know, one thing I'm bad about is I never rotate the tires.
Oh,
and I have
every
a reason.
5,000 miles, man.
I have a reason for that, and that is because I buy a new set of tires every 5 years or 4 years. You know?
Well, yeah.
The thing is, I still where I take my car in when I buy the tires there, I take the car and get the oil change, and the tire rotation because I bought the tires there is free. So every time I get an oil change, I just get the tires rotated.
Yeah.
It costs me nothing extra.
Oh, okay. They do a free rotation with an oil change.
If you buy the tires from them.
Oh, yeah, sure. That makes sense. Yeah.
If you buy the tires, most places will give you a free rotation for the lifetime of the tires. So you just take it in, get the oil change, which is about every 5,000 miles, which is when you should rotate your tires.
Exactly.
Rotate it.
Yeah. Wow. The last time I bought a set of tires, they didn't tell me about that, or they didn't have it.
Won't, because it's extra work for them.
Yeah.
Now, how new is your car?
It's a 2014 Kia.
Okay. Do you take it to a dealership or you take it to somewhere else?
No. I usually go to Firestone or something like that.
Yeah. If you go to a place like that, Firestone or what's that other place?
Bridgestone, you know, whatever.
But there's Duntar, some of those places.
Yeah.
The chain type tires places.
Yeah.
Check with them. Most of them will change your tires but you got to take it in. And the best thing is to let them do the oil change. And you get it both done at the same time.
Yeah, and then they'll rebalance
them.
And they normally rebalance them also, which really helps.
Yeah, I think they do. I think that's standard practice.
But like I said, though, if you come out of alignment, that's different. You're going to have to pay for the alignment. But I go in every time. I get the oil change. I go in the dealership, and I pay for the oil change, and the tires rotated free. Because
my formula all my life is to buy a low mileage used car, very low mileage.
Right.
Well, the thing is, this is the very first new car I've ever bought. I've never bought a new car in my life.
Yeah. I bought one new car probably about 40 years ago, you know, when cars were cheap.
The only reason I bought a new car this time was I was in a car wreck. Some lady T-boned me, and my car was totaled. Now, the way the insurance worked it out of my $500 deductible, I got all but $125 back, so they consider her mostly at fault.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is during the chip shortage, okay?
All right.
And people were waiting on brand new cars. I went in. I was willing to buy a used car. I went in and I looked at a car that was 3 years older than a brand new one. Same package, same luxury package as a brand new one and the used car. $3,000 was all the difference between a new and a used one.
Oh yeah, it's not bad.
That's not worth it, no.
It's not worth buying a used one.
Right. Right.
And
right.
So they had a cross track. I was at a Subaru dealer. I wanted the Forester, but like I said, I'd have to wait a month to get the Forester. And I didn't have car rental insurance on my car, or otherwise I would have waited. And because it was going to cost me way too much money to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I took a week's vacation, bought a brand new cross track. I got the high end package because that's all they had on the lot. The highest package. I got this sunroof or moonroof, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And it's a nice car. I would rather have something a little bigger. The cross track is the small SUV. But I wasn't. Well, I couldn't wait a month for a new car. And I wasn't going to pay that kind of money for a used one.
Well, I've had good luck with Kias. They're cheap cars. They're not perfect. Something's going. They have minor problems like tail lights and stuff like that. If you can live with faulty tail lights going out once in a while, they usually don't give you too many problems.
Well, what my sister always says, my oldest sister lives out here, and this is how they judge their cars. They keep their cars until they start putting in about the kind of money you'd have to put in for a car payment. If it starts costing that kind of money every month or every other month to repair stuff, it's time to get rid of time to replace it.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. Like if a transmission starts to go.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If it starts getting really expensive to repair, you might as well go get a new one. And that's what they always buy a new one and keep it until it starts giving them too much trouble.
Yeah. And hopefully, if you're lucky, you can keep your car 8, 9, 10 years or more. I know some people that had the same car for 20 years.
I got a sister.
There aren't many people nowadays that'll keep them that long, but
I got a sister that kept. She never bought anything but new. Never bought anything but new. And when she first started, she was buying a new car every couple of years. And then she bought this. Was it the Mercury Lynx? Mercury Bobcat, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Ford was Lynx and Mercury was Bobcat, or vice versa. But she had the Mercury. She kept that for over 10 years. She even had it painted because it was paid off. She decided it needed a paint job. And she had it painted.
Oh.
And then she decided, it's time to get another car. And I always told her, I could always tell her what car she's getting or what brand she's getting. Because she's never bought anything but a Mercury or a Ford. If she's got a Mercury, the next car is going to be a Ford. If she's got a Ford, the next car is going to be a Mercury. It's always been that way. She's in her 70s and she bought her first car at 19. It's been that way her entire life.
When I was a young pup, I used to buy big American cars, but I haven't had those in a long time. I bought a Toyota way back, and I was sold, and I liked little Japanese cars, and then I switched to Korean cars because they're cheaper.
My very first car was a 68 Chevelle Super Sport convertible.
I had a Chevelle.
3-speed, turbo hydro automatic, on the floor, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah.
$396. Black leather bucket seats, yellow body, black top.
6-cylinder?
No.
No,
$396.
Yeah.
That's a big 8, buddy.
That's a big V8, yeah.
That's a big
I had
V8.
a straight 6. There was so much room under that hood. You could change your own spark plugs.
But,
Yeah.
I even changed the valve covers on this one.
My first car was a 55 Ford Galaxy.
Now, my cousin George, we're the same age. His first car was a 53 Plymouth. I can't remember what kind, but it was a Plymouth push button automatic.
Yeah.
And that's the first car. That was the first car I ever drove. Now, neither one of us was 16 yet.
Well, see, I got my driver's license at 14.
Well,
me too. You could get a learner's
permit.
permit.
You can't get it until you're 16.
Well, it's not a learner's permit. This was an actual driver's license, but it was daylight only.
Yeah. Well,
daylight
my cousin George got one, but it was for farm equipment. Driving to and from the farm.
That was why we could get them. Was because
But he drove from Iowa to Indiana on that license.
Yeah.
He was only 15. And in Indiana, you can't get your driver's license until you're 16 and 1 month. And that's if you had driver's ed. If you didn't have driver's ed, it was 16 and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a learner's permit in Guam, and Guam was like, man, they were so lax about everything. I think you could.
Hey, Jerry, you have a good night. I know it's bedtime for you if you're still there.
Bye, Jerry.
Take care. And Eddie, if you want to come up. We got another Eddie here.
Hey, Eddie.
But Guam was so lax and such a laid back, loose place that they would give licenses to anybody. I think you could get your learner's permit at 13. Guam. Yeah.
That's right. You were a military brat, right?
No, well, yeah, right. I wasn't
military
in the military.
Brat. No, military brat is a kid of somebody in the military.
Yes. Yeah, you got
Usually a career got person. I gotta say person because sometimes it's a woman. But yeah,
it was a great place for swimming and snorkeling.
I bet you would be. I bet you. See, I've never been to Guam. Now I've been to the Philippines. That's where I took up snorkeling. Was in the Philippines.
Right.
I was in Subic Bay.
Yeah,
A friend
Guam
of
is
mine was,
Guam is close to the Philippines.
but anyway, a friend of mine was a diver, a scuba diver.
Oh yeah.
But we're in the Philippines, and I don't think he had his license for scuba, but he knew how to train.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He went
yeah.
diving with other people.
I've seen that in Guam so many times with somebody they don't have any license and they're teaching other people how to scuba dive.
Yeah.
But anyway, he wanted to do some diving, and he had a couple masks, so he taught me how to snorkel. We'd go snorkeling on Saturdays if we both had the day off.
Yeah, snorkeling is a lot. Scuba, you have to haul around a lot of heavy equipment.
Well, some places you can rent the equipment, but you still gotta be trained in it.
Oh, let me tell you, I used to
took-
rent the equipment in Guam, and you got to be careful. You got to test out your equipment before you drive away from a rental place. Because man, I had a what do you call it? The BCD buoyancy thing.
Yeah.
That blew out. It just came apart, and I was like 60 feet down. And I kept telling myself, "Okay, you just got to go to the surface, but don't go too fast."
Yeah. 60 feet for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
I took scuba lessons later on. I never did get certified.
I
scuba lessons.
I got open water certified.
I remember that because it's 60 at 60. Now, if you're on 30 or above, you can stay down all day as long as you got air.
Yeah.
There is no problem. You go down below 30, then you got to keep track of how long you're down. And that was 60 at 60. I remember that. And it's been.
Well, I figured I was down about 60 feet, give or take. And I figured that's not that deep. So what I did was just go up very slowly and keep inhaling and exhaling, and I got to the top without injury,
Yeah.
Well, like
I did a bad squeeze one time. You know what that is?
A what?
They call it a squeeze, and that's where your ears, you didn't equalize your ears.
Okay.
And your eardrums, the pressure builds, and then they pop, and then your blood will start coming. A little bit of blood will come out of your nose.
A guy that I worked with who was in Diego Garcia, if you know where that's at.
Yeah, I do. It's in the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, and he used to say there was a woman behind every tree. The problem was no trees. But anyway, when he was stationed there, he was married.
Did you do any fishing there?
I was never there. He was there. He was telling me about it.
Oh, okay.
And he worked on base at the club. Sent his whole paycheck to his wife and kids.
Mm-hmm.
And he lived off what he made working part-time at the club. Because, he didn't drink much and he wouldn't go swimming. He blew out an air drum diving.
Yeah, but that's not a permanent disability.
They usually grow back, yeah.
Like I said, but he was talking about how he blew his eardrum out diving.
Yeah, I don't know if that's an accurate description of what happens or what, but it's painful. You feel pressure, and then it goes away, and then you get a blood out of your nose, a little, not a lot, just a little. But it is painful at first, a little bit. But some people don't even know. They get a squeeze and they don't know. You see them with blood.
Well, you got the eustachian tubes that go from your ears to your throat.
Right.
So that's all interconnected.
Yeah.
That's why it's eyes, ears, nose, and throat doctor.
Yep.
Because it's all one big cavity, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah. That's where you get the squeezes in any hollow areas.
Yeah.
Well, you get what you're talking about. You can get that with altitude on planes. The best way to treat that is chew gum.
Yeah.
Or just chew gum. That'll keep your
ears.
That's
kind of hard to do underwater, though.
But I'm just saying, you chew gum when you're
flying at the same time.
Right.
But you chew that gum while you're flying, that'll keep your ears from popping too much.
Yeah.
Equalize the
pressure. Does work.
Yeah.
It might work underwater. Who knows?
Well,
if you got the
yeah,
right mask, if you got the right, they got full face masks now.
well, that's true.
Yeah.
They got masks where you don't need to have a thing in your mouth. But
Yeah.
Full face mask.
yeah,
I'll tell you, I like I said, I had this equipment to go skin diving,
Right.
scuba, because I was once, and I had the fins and the mask and the gloves and the boots. Because if you're walking around and you're not got your fins on, you step on something sharp, you want a pair of boots on so it doesn't cut through as much, if it cuts
Right.
through at all.
yeah, because you can get all sorts of nasty infections from that.
Yeah, even in the lakes around here,
Oh, yeah.
People
Nowadays,
go-
especially.
People go scuba diving in New York lakes.
No, I'm from Indiana.
Oh,
I live
well,
in New York now, but when I was doing all this, I was in Indiana.
and people go scuba diving in Indiana lakes.
Yeah,
Sure,
that's
why
scuba,
not?
snorkeling and stuff. Yeah,
They go scuba diving in Idaho lakes.
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, the lake I grew up on.
Hey, Eddie.
Hey, Eddie.
I got
What's going on?
The friend that taught me to dive. He used to go diving in the rivers in Washington State.
Yeah, the lake I grew up on, Monterey Lake in North Idaho. It's over 1,500 feet.
Eddie,
deep.
could you turn that background noise down?
I got it.
All right, thanks.
All right, good
No,
man.
the reason, Ed, the reason why he went diving in the rivers, and a lot of people did this, because the logging companies would lose their chains in the rivers. You go diving in the river and retrieve those chains, you can make money.
Ooh.
Yep.
Those chains cost a lot of money that they use to transport those logs downriver.
I'm
That's a whole
sure
lot
they
of cash.
do cost a lot of money, but that's not a job I would want to do.
Not a job I would do, but people do it. Now, there's
Oh,
people that
yeah.
would go diving
I know.
on golf courses, just to practice
Yeah,
and
yeah,
retrieve golf balls
yeah.
Yeah.
and give them to the. They let them because they
You
let
got to
them
be
go
careful
diving
where
there.
that golf course is, though. There's a lot of gators in
That'd be
Florida.
Florida, yeah,
here in
yeah, there.
Texas.
But I mean, they did it in Indiana. They would do it.
Oh yeah, I don't think you got many gators up there. They might have some
No.
alligator gar, but Or
They don't have any
sturgeon.
gators, Meyer.
Yeah.
They might be in the zoo, but they're not. They're not out in the open. No.
Leonard, I've seen a lot of alligator gars.
yeah, we caught a
They're
couple.
big.
We
They're
caught
big.
a couple here in just out of Houston area. They are, and they're nasty looking, mean looking critters.
Yeah, yeah. but I don't
Big
think
old,
they're too. They're
big
not
old
dangerous.
long nose with teeth.
They're not dangerous, are they?
Guys, I'm going to turn my
I
camera
wouldn't
off for
want
a
to get
minute.
bit by one.
I'm going to leave everything running. I'm just going to go grab myself a soda. So the camera's just going to go off. I'll be right back. You
All right,
keep
So,
Larry.
talking to
Leonard,
yourselves.
where are you from?
Oh, I'm in Houston, Texas now.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah.
I'm originally from North Idaho,
Oh, all right, yeah,
about 60 miles from the Canadian border.
yeah. I think Houston. I'll take Houston over Northern Idaho, man. I can't take the cold.
Well, when the first time I left, I went to Rock Springs, Wyoming, and it got more cold. It got colder, so
Yeah, I believe it.
and hotter in the summer.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and I went
Wyoming is
back.
a rough climate.
Yeah, and the wind blows 1,000,000 miles an hour all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I went back for several years, and I injured my shoulder. And I said, "Well, shoot, I think I'll go to school." And right at that time, there was this school in Phoenix recruiting people everywhere. So I signed up to go to school. I went to Phoenix.
cool.
I ended up being there 15 years. And I've been
Well, cool.
over here about 15 or 16 years.
Well, what did you learn at school?
Electronics technology.
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. Good.
So they just grab the soda.
Yep.
So Eddie, how's everything going?
Oh, everything's going okay over here. How about you?
Not bad. I just watched Joyce's latest video today.
Oh yeah, which one
When
was
you
that?
guys are in Disneyland.
Oh, yeah, remember that
Unless
one?
like I said, unless she's put up another one today since then. That's what
You
I
know,
watched.
we went on that ride we're both not fond of roller coasters or any of those quick, fast rides, that drop your stomach and, heights. You're doing all the heights.
I was as a younger man, but I'm not anymore.
Yeah, we don't do
Yeah.
that, but we went on that Galaxy ride. We have no idea. We never been, I've always, I've been to Disneyland quite a bit, but they have this new ride in California Adventure, and it's the Galaxy ride.
Are you in
I
California?
Huh?
Are you in California?
No. I'm in New Mexico.
All right, beautiful state.
Yeah, and so the ride is like an elevator, but you got this big screen, and you're watching the Galaxy guys, the heroes working, and then
Yeah,
you're
Rocky and them.
part of it, right? Well, you're dropping an elevator.
Rocket.
Oh my gosh. Joyce was freaking out. I said, honey, I'm sorry. I didn't know this was going to do this. And then you get to the top. It's like, I'm not kidding you, like 30, 40 stories high. And it opens up to the outside when you get up there. So it's so dark, right? And then this thing opens up and they take your picture. I was like,
probably most of the people were.
Yeah, well, if you hadn't been on it before, it was kind of crazy, but
well, like I said, now
we had a good time.
Like I said, I've been to Disneyland, but that was back in '72 when I was in boot camp.
Larry, I've never been to Disneyland or Disney World. Never.
I haven't either. I missed my chance when I was a senior in high school because I was playing football.
Yeah,
I think everybody should at least go once to Disneyland.
One of the
I've
two.
never been to Disney World, but I've been to Disneyland probably about 10 times. I've been there a while.
I said, when I was in boot camp, that weekend we graduated, we had free tickets. Everybody in the whole, not just my company, but the whole battalion had free tickets to Disneyland. The Navy paid for it.
Well, military paid for it.
Yeah. and they paid for the bus ride up there and back. Well, they got a real big discount from Disneyland. They got, and I think it might have been Military Appreciation Month or something.
Well, for me,
so my older brother happened to be. My older brother was in the Navy as well, and he was on his way to Hawaii. That's where he was going to be home ported. So he went to the Panama Canal. His ship was a brand new ship. He was what you call a plank owner. A plank owner is the first crew of a ship, the very first crew. They're all plank owners. That's what they call them. So he was a plank owner.
Never heard that.
They're plank owners. And originally, the reason why they call them plank owners, the original Navy ships were all wood. So you got a plank.
Right.
Okay. All right.
But anyway,
that's where walking the plank came from.
A good one, Lynn.
But anyway, I can't remember. It was either Portsmouth, Virginia, or North. What is that? North Beach or Virginia Beach, Virginia, or whatever they call that other base. But he was at one for training, and then he picked the ship up at the other. I don't remember which is which. But they took the ship. They went through the Panama Canal. So he became a shellback, if you know what a shellback is.
No, what's a shellback?
All right, a shellback is a sailor who crosses the equator by ship. You have to cross by ship, and you have to go through an initiation. All right?
Oh,
so
okay.
if you go through the initiation, you become a shellback. If you don't, you're a pollywog. I'm a pollywog. I never crossed the equator. I never crossed it, so I couldn't go through the initiation.
Oh, wow.
Now, my brother, his very first trip, he became a shellback. Because to go down to the Panama Canal, he had to cross the equator to get there.
Right.
Somehow I associate crossing the equator with the Poseidon, with the fork, the king.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's part of the initiation. They'll have somebody play Poseidon. But anyway, they went through the canal, and they pulled in to San Diego. to refit, pick up supplies and stuff.
Oh, thank you very much.
Hawaii, on the Friday that I graduated from boot camp, my graduation day. So he got off the ship. He was there for my graduation.
Cool.
Took videos of it. And we were talking over at R&O. And my company commander saw my brother, saw that he was in the Navy, and told him, look, he said, we're going to Disneyland on Sunday. If you want to go, show up here at this time. No, it was Saturday we went. Show up here at this time in uniform. You got to be in dress blues. We got a ticket for you. You can go for free. You got a bus right up there and back. So my brother and I and my boot camp company, everybody that wanted to go, we all went to Disneyland. And
That's
he got
cool.
he took videos of that. I
That's
don't know
real
whatever
cool.
happened to it. Like I said, I don't know whatever happened to it. But my mom got to see it. I know that.
Oh,
And,
that was Joyce's. Her dream was to go to Disneyland, and so I had to take her.
like I said, I enjoyed it.
Well, that
It
was a
blast.
command performance there.
And like I told you, if you guys go back to California, San Diego area, you want to go to the San Diego Zoo if you like zoos.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I've been
it's
to
a
the
we're
zoo.
going back. There's a lot to do in California.
Oh yeah, but I mean it's one of the largest zoos in the United States, if not the world.
Yeah, it's a good
big.
zoo.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. But you can only do so much in a week, you know. I mean,
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I
hell
said.
yeah.
If you go back, no, if
yeah,
you
we'll
go
go
back,
back.
you
We'll plan on doing. I mean, even so, I mean, there's still so much.
Oh, yeah,
to do
you-
there. And,
Yeah.
there's a lot to do.
I got.
I
I
really enjoyed San Diego when I was in the Navy.
Yeah, I actually am one of the few people who wanted to retire in California, but it was just out of my budget.
Well, when I got out, I thought about moving to San Diego.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
back then,
that's where I
back
would go.
then,
too.
we're,
Yeah.
we're talking about in the 70s. Back then, I could afford an apartment.
Yeah, it was affordable, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
not now.
problem was, like I said, I got home and my dad had to go in the hospital that summer, and then he went in the hospital the next year and died. And so I stuck around for my mom, and next thing you know, it's like, well, I can't afford to move out there now. A friend of mine, last I heard, him and his wife, who I knew quite well as well, are still living in a 2-bedroom apartment they had when I was out there.
Hmm.
Back in the 70s.
Yeah.
And the reason for it is, well, she had a daughter, so they needed 2 bedrooms. And then she grew up, got married, moved to Ohio, but they couldn't afford to move out of the 2-bedroom apartment because it's rent control in that part of California.
Yeah.
So if they moved to a 1-bedroom apartment, it would cost them more than that 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
So they just stayed there.
Yep.
Which I'll be honest with you, if I'd have moved back to California it was late 70s, like 78. If I'd have moved back there in 78 or 79, by the time the 80s and stuff rolled around, you're making a little more money and your rent's still the same. It wouldn't be that bad.
Right.
You
That's
try to
right.
move out there now. Oh, God forbid.
Just
Oh,
ask
yeah.
Dan about that.
One bedroom would cost you $2,000 a month.
Yeah. And that's not a good place.
No.
Probably not.
No.
It's an okay place, but I'm
Yeah.
saying it's not top of the line.
Yep.
No,
You know?
no, I agree.
Yeah, you can talk to Dan about that. That's where he been living.
Oh, Dan from Sacramento.
Yeah.
Dan's from Sacramento.
Okay.
Now he's in the Philippines now, but they lived in an apartment for a little bit before they moved out because he sold his house. Then they lived in the apartment until they moved to the Philippines finally.
Yep.
But like you said, he made out on the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sacramento has such an awful reputation.
Well, Dan will tell you that.
Yeah, but I think there are worse places. Like I think, to me, Oakland sounds
Well,
like
yeah.
the worst.
Everybody thinks
yeah.
Oakland that is. And
Oakland's bad.
I don't
Oakland's
have
bad.
a personal opinion because I've never actually been to Oakland. But
Yeah, neither have I. I mean,
Sacramento.
I haven't spent any time
Oakland
there,
was,
so I don't
Oakland
know.
was bad when I was a youth. When I was living, I lived in San Francisco, and
All right,
Oakland.
Tim, if you're still there, we'll see you later when you get back. Tim said he'll be back in a while.
yeah.
I just
What were you saying about Oakland, Eddie?
I lived in San Francisco. I grew up
Right.
there, and Oakland was always considered bad when growing up, and
Yeah.
you just never went. You just never didn't, go there.
Yeah. If you didn't absolutely have to, you just stayed away.
Yeah.
But they got nice parts of it, or they had nice parts of it way back.
Well, I'm sure, but
Hey, Tim's back.
Today, I'm sure it's much worse.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this
Well,
will.
All right, Tim.
there's a
Nice to see you
blogger-
back.
I've
There's a
got.
blogger that I follow some of his videos. His vlog is God Plan. I don't think it's God's Plan. I think it's God, just God Plan. And he's in Oakland. And he shows some of the streets and stuff. And,
There was in the news yesterday. There was a 72-year-old security guard in Oakland, and he was attacked by 4 or 5 young
yeah,
kids.
that was this week.
Yeah,
I believe that
he
was his
survived. They didn't shoot him, but they broke his hands.
Yeah, they beat him up.
Yeah, that
You
was
want to know
sad.
what was in the news today in the Philippines again? Another killing.
Yeah,
They killed the governor in
Right.
Negros and 5 other people.
Yeah, that happened. I think late last week, or earlier this week, rather. I'm sorry.
yes.
Yeah, it just
Yeah,
happened,
earlier
yeah.
this week.
But they
Didn't
were
Steve mention
gunmen
that?
dressed.
Yeah,
were-
Steve mentioned it, and Sunshine Shoulders mentioned it,
yeah.
and
It's,
Yeah, but they were
it's
dressed
considered
like
as political.
In army fatigue
Gear?
gear, yeah, and came out and shooting Blaze. Tell you what,
That's it.
they catch him, guys, because
Oh, yeah.
Philippines is going to be just like Mexico, running rampant if they don't get a hold of it. They're killing
Yeah.
a lot
Could
of
be.
the officials.
It could be.
Well, but the thing is, though, they've had political killings for years there in the Philippines.
Oh,
Yeah.
no
A lot of
doubt.
times, it's political. They'll kill. Let's say we're
Yeah.
related or we support this politician, whoever it is, and he doesn't get elected or
Yeah, but what my
something. And some people might go around and kill the person that beat him out. Or
Larry, what I'm talking about, Larry, is
think, oh, guys, I'm not.
it's getting more frequent there. Like I
Yeah.
said, my wife's barangay captain got killed.
Gee.
Yeah, and then they had another mayor just got killed there. They're killing these politicians and stuff. And
is it more common, or we're just hearing more about it?
No, I'm just hearing more about it. Is what I'm saying. I'm hearing more
Yeah.
about it.
I don't know if that's what I'm wondering. Is it we're just hearing more about it, or
Yeah.
or is it really an uptick and there's more happening?
Well, in the last 6 years that I've been, following the Philippines, I've
Right.
never heard this so much.
Well, I've only been following about two years or so, maybe 3, and I have not heard it either. But
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have the best news sources.
The captain of the barangay, he was at our wedding, and he was, he doesn't carry a gun. The captain of the police, he didn't carry a gun, and that's just the way some of the police are. They don't carry guns,
Yeah,
but the security guards do.
yeah. It's and foreigners can't have guns.
No, you can't have.
No, your Filipina can, but you
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah,
And,
she can own one.
Yeah,
And I might. I don't know. I don't know how. Depending, I guess, if I felt the need to get one when we lived there, who knows? I'd have her go buy one, and
yeah.
bring it home.
Well,
Yep.
there's a lot of wild dogs. That would be one good reason to have a
Yeah.
small pistol.
Yeah, but
But the thing is, you can't have them.
but the wild,
Yeah.
the dogs there that are, what do you call it? Wild dog. They're not vicious like they are here. And the
I don't
cats,
think they're actually feral.
they're not
they're just-
feral. No,
Yeah, but I
just-
mean,
they're
they're
just
all very
loose.
friendly. Even the cats. You see a
yeah,
feral
but
cat here in the
sometimes
US.
dogs get in a pack you know, and when
Yeah.
they get in the pack, you know.
But they do. You get sometimes 2 or 3, and it's once in a while. My wife told me once in a while you get dogs that will chase, or try to bite you or something. But it's not like here, like a feral cat here. You see that all common, and you know to stay away.
Right.
Yeah.
When I went over there the first time, I saw all these cats, and I thought they were all feral. They were like house pets.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange, but they
We
came
got
over.
a lot of wild coyotes around where I live,
Yeah.
Yeah, we
but
got
they
cats
usually
here.
they don't attack people.
Not normally.
Now, I don't
Not
know if you guys
normally,
saw
exactly.
Tim wrote that there are a lot of drive-by shootings here now. I guess it is part of the
Yeah.
Philippines, or maybe the Philippines in general.
Well, he's in Angel
He's,
City.
he's around clock, yeah. He's around
Yeah,
clock.
that might be a little bit higher crime rate than some other areas. I don't
Yeah,
know
that's what I'm
that.
saying.
I'm just saying.
I don't know if that's where he's at. If he's just talking about his area, or if he's talking about all the Philippines.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know a lot of the shootings are politically motivated.
Right.
But there are others where
I've heard about those. What do they call them? 1-2 shootings or something like that. There's 2 guys on a motorbike and they drive by.
That's where he's done a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you see 2 guys on a bike, you got to watch out because they'll.
Yeah.
I mean, but
Yeah,
there's
one guy driving and the other one's the shooter.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
That's the way it's been explained to me. But
I was going to say, not too long ago, I think there was I want to say it was an American and his girlfriend. That was late at night. They were walking in an area probably not that great.
yeah, they were where they shouldn't have been.
Yeah, and they killed him, but they didn't rob him. They robbed her.
Yeah, which makes no sense to me.
Makes no sense to me either, because you'd think he'd have more money.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. They took her phone and her purse. Didn't take his phone. Didn't take his money. Just shot him. And
they like to go in and out though. That's why they don't like to stick around. And
I don't think he was an American. I think he was.
No, he was American. The guy in BGC.
No, the one.
Yeah,
he was American.
That's what I thought.
Well, now I heard otherwise, but hey,
there's probably more than one shooting.
He was a foreigner.
That could be.
He was a foreigner.
Yeah, but the way I heard it sounded exactly the same. It's just that the guy wasn't he wasn't American. He was. I don't even think he was Australian. I think he was New Zealand or something.
Yeah. Does it really matter?
Well, it might.
Really?
Well, not really. He was in an area at a time of night that he shouldn't have been in that area.
Right. He shouldn't have been where he was. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's an area that, from what everybody says, that's an area you don't want to be in at night.
Right.
If you're not from there.
Yep.
And that's
just a bad area.
It's supposed to be a nice area. I don't understand that.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry. What area is that?
Makati.
Oh, okay.
But there's certain areas. No matter what city you're in, there are areas that at certain times of the day you should not be at.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
You can go to a small
at midnight or 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning in the middle of the street in a known bad area. That that was.
And Tim said he was New Zealand. He was New Zealander.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't remember exactly, but I was pretty sure
I knew he was Western. I knew he was Western. I thought it was American, but I knew he was Western.
Do you consider New Zealand Western?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
When I say they're not, to me, it's Western or Eastern.
Right? Okay.
He's not Eastern.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
It makes sense.
I'm
Arabic.
Arabic is Eastern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arabic are Eastern. They're Middle East, so that's Eastern.
Okay.
Well, what I'm saying when I say Western, I mean they live the Western lifestyle. When I say Western.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And they live the Western lifestyle. So that's what I mean by Western. I don't mean that they're from the United States or they're from because England is Western.
Right.
My definition of Western is
it is to
living in a completely developed country
Yeah, but like I said, though, I mean, it's the lifestyle. Like you said,
Yeah.
Africa is a completely different lifestyle than Europe
Yeah.
or the United States or Canada,
Right.
or New Zealand or Australia.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That because I know the Aussies are referred to as Western also. So that would stand. It makes sense
Yeah.
that the New Zealanders are also.
Yeah, because they're not that
Yeah,
far away
of
from
course.
Australia. But,
Well, you can't swim there.
no, no, too many white sharks down in that area.
Hey, but you know what? We got 34
What?
more hours until we fly.
34
All right.
more hours?
The countdown.
Hours?
The countdown is
34
on.
more hours.
Where
I
you
got one
headed?
question for you. Does Joyce have any more days to work after today?
Is she what?
Does she have to work any more days after today?
No,
In other words, is she working tomorrow?
no.
All right, then.
She's
So
working
now,
tonight,
after
that's
when she gets home tonight, she can relax tonight, and then tomorrow you guys start packing everything.
Yeah, we've already started packing some things.
Yeah, but I mean,
Now, are you?
Oh, yeah.
How long are you going to be?
2
a
weeks.
month, isn't it?
Okay.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, that's about
I
all.
I
good
want
time.
to go to New Mexico sometime soon.
That's where
I've
he's
been
at.
through there a couple times.
Yeah, yeah.
What part
Eddie-
of what part of New Mexico? You going to Albuquerque or Santa Fe?
My favorite place in New Mexico is Carlsbad Caverns.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Now's
Yeah,
the
I
time
mean, I
to
could
go,
spend-
too. You don't want to go when it's too hot.
No, I've been through Deming.
Yeah, Deming. I know Deming.
Yeah, I was
Just
just saying.
remind
most
me
people
where
don't
Carlsbad
know
Caverns.
where that
I
is,
never
but-
get tired of it. I never get tired of it.
That
Tim's
Carlsbad
telling you you
Caverns
need
is
to have safe travels, man.
Thank you. That Carlsbad Caverns is a beautiful area. I mean, it's
Yeah, I haven't been there,
I haven't been there.
but
Well, that's worth going
I'll be
to.
honest with you. I've been to Texas, but I've never been to New Mexico.
no.
I've been to Louisiana. I've been to Alabama. There's
Hey,
a
and
lot
you
of
need
states
to
I've
come
been
out
to.
here when they have the balloon fiesta.
Yeah, that's up in Albuquerque.
Yeah,
That's where he lives.
you can. It's about from Albuquerque to Carlsbad. I believe it's like maybe 3.5 hours to drive.
At least, if not more. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're talking
maybe
about
even more.
you're talking about the hot air balloons
Yeah, it's a beautiful sight.
for my mother's 80th birthday. We got our hot air balloon ride. She always wanted to go take a hot air balloon ride. So for her 80th birthday, we got her one, and she took it over to Letchworth State Park here in New York. We gave her a choice. She lives in Indiana. They had one down in Evansville over Ohio, the Ohio River, in Wabash, that area there. And here in New York at Letchworth, and she picked Letchworth, which I don't blame her. I think it's a much prettier area. And she and then my oldest sister bought her husband a ride and didn't tell him about it until just before that. I think it was I want to say his 65th birthday.
Larry,
He went with my mom. Huh?
do you ever go to up to Quebec? Quebec City or Montreal?
I've been to Montreal. I've been to Toronto. I want
How
to go
about
back
Quebec City?
again. No, I've never been to Quebec City.
Well, that's a nice
Montreal's
place.
real nice.
Not in wintertime, but in
Is
the
that where you're
warm
at,
months.
Ed? You're over in
Actually, I'm closer now than I've ever
No.
been as far
I'm
as
in
living.
Nevada.
Oh, you're in Nevada. Okay.
I'm farther from Toronto than what I used to be, but I'm closer to Montreal and Quebec now, where I live. I used to
I
live up.
drove to Toronto, Montreal, and Quebec, and out of the three, Quebec City is the most, interesting looking.
I actually enjoyed Vancouver, Canada, over on the.
Yeah.
yeah,
good.
Vancouver's nice.
I'd like
I
to
like-
go see Niagara.
Yeah,
Niagara. I'll go. I've been to Niagara many times.
Really?
I always like Calgary and
You're
Edmonton.
talking about Niagara Falls, right?
Yeah.
I used to, not now, but I used to only live about an hour and a half from there.
Oh wow.
When I lived up there between Rochester and Buffalo, hour and a half, 2 hours, I could be there anytime.
I seen pictures or videos. And
I'm planning on doing a video.
I don't know if it's Niagara Falls or not, but they have like a ship going in the falls. Is that true?
Maid of the Mist.
Yeah.
Maid of the Mist.
Is that right?
Yeah, you can go in from the Canadian side or the American side.
Is that right?
I've been on that. I did it. From
I'd
the
sure like
American
to
side.
go there. I'd like to go there.
I don't know. I haven't been up there since before the pandemic, so they may have closed it. But they had what they called the Cave of the Winds on the American side. Now, the Cave of the Winds, you go down in that and you walk around this path, and it takes you right to the bottom of the falls. You're on foot. And they build this platform that you can go out, and you're getting sprayed by the falls. And they got what they call the hurricane deck, which you're really close to the falls, one of the falls. And so,
And then you can walk. You can walk behind the falls too.
That's on the Canadian side,
Right.
if I remember right.
What is the what's the best side to go see? Is there any that you guys?
I'm gonna put it to this way: both sides are nice.
Is that right? Okay.
If you can do both sides, do the American side first, then go to the Canadian side. Canadian side's got the best views of the falls, and they build up more for tourists.
And go look at it during the day and the night because it's totally different.
Go to the Canadian side for the night because they put lights on the falls.
Yeah.
So I'm reading plan your trip, and I'll be darned. It says you need a filming permit if you're going to be film shooting your destination with a cell phone. They got a picture of a woman holding her cell phone at the Niagara Falls, and you need a permit there. I guess I just read that.
I doubted if
They just started enforcing that thing because you didn't need it before. So I'll find all that out because I really want to go there if I can and take some pictures.
I'd like to take Joyce.
I don't think they're going to bother tourists over there.
You'll love it, but like I said, go to the American side first.
Hey, it's a way to make money.
They got this.
Where you fly into?
You fly into Buffalo. It's outside Niagara Falls, right outside of Buffalo.
Okay, I didn't know where.
Yeah, you fly.
Or you could fly into Toronto.
Yeah, but Toronto's farther away from the falls.
Yeah, it is, but I mean, there's probably more flights there.
You're talking from Buffalo. You're talking from the airport to Niagara Falls, maybe an hour.
Right,
from Toronto to the falls, probably 2 or 3 hours.
Right. But you get a tremendous more amount of choice of flights into Toronto.
But the thing is, though, if you plan ahead, you'll get the flight you want to go into Buffalo.
Probably.
But I would go into Buffalo, and if you're going to be there more than a couple of days, stay on the American side one night. That's it. That's all you need.
And a time of year to go. What's the best?
Do you want the if you're going to do the Maid of the Mist or the Cave of the Winds, I would go during summer when it's hot because you're going to get wet. They're going to give you these rain.
Yeah, I seen that track. I seen them had raincoats.
The Maid of the Mist, if I remember right, was that the blue ones? The Maid of the Mist was blue, and the Cave of the Winds was yellow, or vice versa. I can't remember now. It's been a few years since I've been.
June, July is good.
July, August.
Oh, even August, huh?
Yeah, because it's hot.
Yeah, August is
hot
so
up there.
Yeah, August is hot.
Oh, wow.
September would be too late.
Yeah,
I would go probably July. I'd probably go July.
Oh, yeah, July probably sounds about right then.
If I go, I'm going to bring a barrel and go over the falls.
I don't think they let you do that.
Barrel? Did you say?
Well, you don't tell them.
People have done it. People have even survived it.
Yeah.
But people have survived.
Yeah, 2 or 3. Yeah.
Not very many, but more haven't made it. But
yeah.
Not me.
The vast majority of them have not made it.
Who's Jismar saying hi to everybody?
Hey,
Hey,
Jismar, Erica, how you doing?
Leonard, the secret is you put a lot of foam cushion on the inside of the barrel.
Well,
Yeah, but is it
Even
waterproof?
You gotta make sure it's
Yeah,
waterproof. too.
make sure there's no leaks.
Yep.
And make sure you get enough air to get over.
Yep.
Well, yeah, you don't have to have a
Deck
lot of air to go.
And somebody on the downside to get you.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure,
police,
yeah, everybody
be
does that.
But no,
Well, the police will
cops
pick
will
you
do
up
that.
pretty
The
fast.
cops will do that for you.
Yeah, that's true. But maybe not fast enough.
Yeah.
That's true too. But,
I imagine the force of the waterfall would drive you under the water.
Oh, I'm sure
I'm
it
sure
would.
it would, but if you got the right setup, you'll pop back up.
Right.
Hopefully.
Well, as long as
But,
you're buoyant.
Yeah.
You know, as
Like I said, if you're buoyant when you go over, if you're not submerged, it's going to pop back up. It may take a while, but it will pop back up. Well, I'm just saying, it depends on how much the force of the falls keeps you down. It'll eventually push you away and you'll pop up.
Yeah.
But it's not something I'd want to do.
Nope.
I'm surprised that Richard Branson hasn't done it.
yeah.
He's not a daredevil, is he?
Well, kind of. I mean, he's done a lot of
He's
stuff.
done some.
Yeah, but it's
He's
illegal to jump down there, right? It's illegal. So
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
it's illegal now.
So he
Yeah,
wouldn't.
it's illegal to take the barrel, try to take the barrel over. Trying to ride over the falls is illegal.
Yep.
But like I said, on the American side, around where the Cave of the Winds are at, you can do it in other places too. They have this train, or not train, like a long bus, a tram, whatever you want to call it, that you pay so much money and you can ride it around, get on and off as much as you want, and take you around to all the spots on the American side. Like I said, one day you get all that done on the American side.
One
Canadian
thing you
side,
don't want to do
a lot
is
more.
take a barrel over the American side.
that's the only side you're going to go over.
There's nothing but
The falls
rocks.
are- The American side is the side of the falls. The Canadian side faces the falls.
Yeah, but at least you got water down below.
Yeah, you do on the American side too. But if you
Well,
you don't want
me-
to go over the Bridalveil is where you don't want to go.
Yeah, it looks like there's a ton
Bridalveil's
of
is-
rock.
Yeah, Bridalveil has a lot of rock, and that's where the Cave of the Winds goes to. And they
Yeah,
also
I've
have
never
a-
walked on that side.
So can you cross to the Canadian side from right there?
Yes.
They have a
from
cross.
Niagara Falls, both cities are named Niagara Falls. So Niagara
Okay.
Falls, New York, there is a bridge that you can walk across or drive across to Niagara Falls, Canada.
Okay.
You have to go through customs, so you got to have your passport.
So
Used
it
to not
says
have to
from
have
the
a
airport.
passport.
From the airport, it's 30 miles from the park. From
Yeah.
the airport to the park. I
As I
guess.
said, at the most, it's going to take you an hour at the most.
Yeah.
But you go to Toronto, check how far it is from Toronto. You're looking at 2 to 3 hours minimum. Because you got to go to QE. Now, Toronto's a nice place to visit if you want to visit it while you're there.
Yeah, it's a good place to visit.
It is. It's nice. They got a place called Casa de Loma in Toronto, and it looks something like a castle. The on the Canadian side, they built the hydropower plant and used the falls and that stuff for power. And the guy that did it started building this castle-like place, and never did finish it because I think he went broke. But it is really nice, and you go in there. They got these different. There's a device you can carry around, and when you get to each spot, you punch in the number, and it'll tell you about that spot, what's going on inside the building, and you can get it with different languages. Chinese, English, French, whatever you want. A lot of different languages. So they may even have it in Tagalog. I don't know. I know they have it in Mandarin because I went with some friends that were Chinese, and one couple that was with us, didn't speak English, so they got Mandarin. Now the people that went with the other people that went with me that were Chinese spoke English, but the parents didn't.
You know, they got these smartphones now where you just speak in English. You just choose your language and you speak in English.
Yeah, Google Translate.
Is that what it is? Google Translate?
There's that. There may be other stuff, but that's a free app.
It works so well.
Yes, it
I
does.
was really surprised.
But like I said, this is set up so that you go in, you tell them what language you want, and they give you the device that will speak in that language. You go in and you punch in. Let's say you're at the first stop. You punch in one, and they'll tell you all about that area that you're in. Then you go, you can go backwards. You can do whatever order you want to do it in. You just punch in the number that you're at.
Can any of you guys recommend a smartphone that is simple to use for older people? Because I mean, my wife has a smartphone and it is crap. It is so slow.
Which one does she have?
Samsung Galaxy S22 or 23.
Samsung, is that the same? Are they easy to use?
What does she have? What is she?
They're all pretty easy to use.
She's got something called ZTE from China.
What's it called?
ZTE.
Oh, and it's just a slow.
It's probably a 3G or 4G.
I got a Samsung S21.
Who's your
They
service?
got newer ones out now.
Yeah.
Huh?
Ed, who's the service through? Your cell phone service through? Provider.
I don't know, the government. It's the government freebie.
Oh, okay.
Unless you buy your own phone, you're limited.
You can buy your own phone through Amazon.
Yeah. Well, that's what I want to do. I just don't know what's this. I just want to buy the simplest, easiest one to use.
Yeah.
Well,
probably just go to Amazon and look up Android phones, and then you could sort that thing out by stars, by price.
Yeah.
You'll
have reviews, and people tell you
reviews, and then you can start reading.
Whatever you get, make sure you get a 5G phone.
5G.
Yeah, because they've already done away with all the 3G, and 4G won't be that much farther or longer.
I got a little 4G flip phone, Alcatel, and it's got internet and it's pretty good.
Hey, Peter, how you doing, man?
Hey,
But I
Peter,
need a smartphone.
Ed, and Eddie.
We got Ed, Eddie.
We need the other Ed. What happened to
Ed
him?
Army is here.
Your other guy.
We got Peter of Barbera here. How you doing, Peter?
I haven't looked at the chat.
I don't look as much as I should. It's my
Peter of Barbaria.
Yeah, he's I believe in Aussie. He might be New Zealand, but I believe he's from Australia. Isn't that right, Peter? You're from Australia?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. He was in Dan's, I think, last night. And then we got Erica here still. Erica Jizmar. Jizmar is Erica. But 34 more hours, huh?
34 hours.
Well, it's probably 33 and a half now.
I tell you what, when I was in the Navy, I never got channel fever, but that was always coming back. Channel fever in the Navy, when you say you got channel fever, it means you can't sleep. You're anticipating arriving, getting there. So you just can't sleep because you got channel fever. See?
Well, I have a hard time sleeping on a plane to begin with, and I'm dreading the flight because we're going to Hawaii first and then shooting over to Manila, and it's 15 hours.
How long is your layover in Hawaii?
1 hour. They're just putting fuel in the plane because the plane we were supposed to be on, it was supposed to be a 777. It's in for maintenance.
Now, Peter says it's too hot in the afternoon there in the outback in Australia.
Yeah, it's heating up down under.
Down.
beginning to.
Oh yeah, there's still summer going into fall, and we're winter going into spring. So,
Yep.
Oh, thank God. It was a long winter down here in Nevada. It was the longest
We got-
winter I think
we
we
got
ever
snow
had.
again last night. We got over 6 inches of snow. And we got throughout the whole day. We got 6 to 8 inches. About
We've
Well, I
had-
think they had another blizzard in Southern California. I think yesterday.
Yesterday,
It's,
Might have been today.
we've had a mild winter here in New
is
Mexico.
Dodger Blue. Are you still here? Did you guys get snow again today?
Yeah, well, Leonard, you're in Houston. That's pretty mild. Yeah, that's warm. In fact.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah, well, I heard that the Southeast had a very warm winter, for a
Well,
while.
we're not southeast. We're just south.
Houston?
Yeah, we're just
Yeah,
south.
well, south,
It's considered
southeast.
south.
Hey, Leonard, we'll be going to Houston when we get back. Oh my gosh, when are we going? I think April 15th or something. We'll be
Okay,
headed to Houston.
cool.
We have a friend that lives out, not in Houston, outside of Houston. She lives there. She's a Filipina from my wife's friend,
Oh,
and
okay.
she actually is a U.S. citizen, and she
Yeah.
married a Filipino, and he just got here on a visa, like
Oh, wow.
like 6 months ago. He just
Yeah.
got here, so they kind of became friends on a Facebook chat. When I was trying to bring her here, they kind of became
Yeah.
friends and asking questions, and then she came and visited us, and now she invited us to go over there, and so we're headed over there in Houston, man.
All right. Well, maybe we
I've
can
never
get a
been
couple
to
coffees
Houston. I've been to
sometime.
Dallas.
Peter's in the outback.
Yeah, Peter's in the outback. Like I said,
We
he's
can't go
about
to Australia right now, Peter. Sorry.
Where, Peter,
I'll
where
tell
in
you
the
the truth.
outback for you?
If I was going to go to Australia, it'd be this time of year. It'd be to get away from the winter. Let's be honest
Yep.
about it.
Yep.
And it's just like, but if I was going to go to Australia, I'd probably just go to the Philippines.
Yeah.
I always wanted to drive around Australia, just drive around the whole island, the whole continent.
I think it'd be. I don't know if I'd want to
How
drive
long would
around the
it
whole
take you? A
continent.
couple hours?
Oh no.
No,
no.
Australia's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm figuring it would take
It's such
you
a
few
large
weeks.
island. They consider it a continent,
Yeah.
a small continent. That's how large.
I
it
don't
is.
know. I don't remember whether it technically is a continent or if it's technically an island, but
Like I
because
said,
I
it's
know
so
Remote
been
large.
talking
It's
back and
southern-
forth.
Queensland. I gotta
But
look
it's
that
not.
up.
It's big.
It is huge.
Oh yeah, Queensland. Can't get a map.
I would have loved
Oh,
to
okay,
go to
yeah.
Australia when I was in the Navy, because that would have meant I crossed the equator and
Yeah.
I'd be a shellback. I'm just a little old pollywog. What
I had
can
a
I
work-
say?
Permit for Australia when I was young.
Well, I had some friends that were stationed in the Navy in Australia. We were on the same
I
ship
had a
together.
work
And they got
permit and I never did use it.
stationed down there. Now because they got stationed, they flew down. So unless they crossed the equator by ship some other time, that doesn't qualify you. You got to do it by ship.
Yeah. I
And,
can't remember right where the equator is. I'd have to look on a map, but
It's before the Panama Canal. Because my brother crossed the equator when he went through the canal.
yeah.
I'll tell you, it's good to have an American passport because I never had problems getting working visas in different countries.
You will in the
I'll tell you,
Philippines.
Sorry, Len?
You will in the Philippines.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's
I got to get
one more work in the
mine
Philippines
renewed.
anyway.
Yeah, I renewed mine this last year because I was planning to go last July. And
Yeah,
I realized when I was getting everything together, my my passport had expired in February.
Well, that's
So-
all right because they give you a few years
Well,
past
yeah,
expiration date.
I wasn't gonna take the chance, so I
Well-
ordered a new. I ordered a new one, and
Well,
expedited it,
no.
and I
They
got it
wouldn't
here in
let.
time. But
I'm going to say they wouldn't let you in with an expired one.
no,
I'm saying you can reorder with an expired one.
right,
and not,
right.
Not be
Yeah,
penalized.
that part I wasn't worried about. It was
Yeah,
the
'cause
timing. But then things turned out I
I
couldn't go anyway in July. So
I got my passport in '99 because I was going to China and I had to have a passport. And I let it expire because for a long time I didn't need it anywhere else. We didn't have
Right.
to have it for Canada
right,
until after 9/11. And I decided the length of time, if I remember right, is 5 years.
yeah,
And if you after 5 years, you got to go through the whole rigmarole again.
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
But
And
since I was planning on going over there, I went ahead and got my new passport, and they expedited it so it'd be back in time, and it was.
How much they want for that now?
What
How much they charge for that now?
the
I
passport,
paid all together with expediting it and paying express mail both ways and all that stuff. It was about $235.
That's not too bad.
No,
I got to get mine done. I got. Oh, hang on a minute. Let me.
I think
Pull it
it's
up.
cheaper if you don't let it expire.
Oh, mine's not expired.
No, I'm just saying.
Here it is.
'cause
Here it is. Here it is. Here it
If you
is.
can save $1, save it.
Like I said, I'm gonna renew it before it expires.
Yeah.
Like I said, the last time I let it expire, mine's September of this year. So, like I said, it's just about 6 months. On the 10th, which is next Friday, it'll be 6 months exactly. So right now,
Can you
mine
go-
get me.
Can you go online and do it?
You got to send your old one in, if I remember right. I did on my last.
Yeah,
one
you
'cause it
do.
was
I had
expired.
to with mine. But again, like I say,
said-
mine was expired. So
Yeah, so was mine last time. So, but it doesn't take long to get them back, even if you don't
No,
expedite them.
it wasn't as bad as I thought. I was afraid it was going to take longer. But
But I did mine because the 6 months was. The 5 years was just about up,
yeah,
and so I did mine because I didn't want to go through everything again. Because I found out if you did it within the 5 years, you didn't have to go get your birth certificate again. You didn't have to go get
Oh,
the
yeah.
pictures again, and you didn't have to go
yeah, I
do all
didn't.
that
I
again.
didn't have to
and
do that.
reapply.
That's right.
No.
Yeah.
But if you go beyond 5 years, you got to do all that again. And so I redid mine because even though I wasn't planning on using it right away, but I knew I'd want to use it again. And
Right.
now that you have to use it, go to Canada
Yeah, in
know.
Mexico.
and
Yeah.
Mexico. Well, I'm far enough away from Mexico. That'd have to be a planned trip. But I was.
Right,
You need one for Mexico?
Huh?
I said that'd be a planned trip.
You need a
Well, I-
passport for Mexico?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Really?
I think you can
Yeah.
go. I think you can go in 100 miles or something without it. But I don't know that for sure. So
You can't get into Canada without it.
no, I know
well, that's
that.
new. Yeah, after 9/11, they started that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would require it for Mexico because of that too.
Yep.
But I'm just saying, though,
I
as close
just-
as I lived, as close as
Oh.
I used to live to Canada, I was only a couple hours from Canada. Because, like I said,
I
it was
always
about an hour,
remember
hour and a half.
Mexico. You just walked in, or drove in. If
Well,
you
yeah, but
wanted.
that was last time I went to Mexico. That's all you did. But I was in the Navy. That was back in the '70s. I hadn't been to Mexico since.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a different world today.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to be able to take these Caribbean cruises without a passport. I don't know if you can do that anymore.
I don't know either.
Some of those places you got to have a passport if you want to get. You can take the cruise, but you can't go in some of those countries without one.
Right.
Now, some of them, I think they let you have what they call an enhanced license. But the enhanced license costs you so much. I spend a little more and get the passport.
Really.
Yeah,
Well, having
up
a
here.
passport's worth a lot.
Yeah, but like I said, though, it costs more than the Hey, Crazy Kid, how you doing, man? Like I said, the passport costs more than the enhanced license, and the enhanced license lets you drive.
Right.
But it's like, unless you're not planning on going anywhere but like Mexico and Canada, maybe the Caribbean cruise. It's not going to do you any good anywhere else. I mean, if you want to go to the Philippines, the enhanced driver's license is not going to do you a bit of good.
Right.
They won't accept it. Neither would any of the other countries over in the Asian countries.
Hey guys, I gotta go real quick. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I gotta go.
Okay, Eddie, take
Okay.
care.
Hey, tell Joyce hi for us, and
I will.
remember to remind her I want to see videos of you guys' trip.
We, of course,
Yes.
you'll get it. Cavite. I know
Only
you.
inside.
Cavite, man.
You going to Cavite?
Yeah, that's where she lives.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
she's
Okay.
from Cavite.
I want to see some videos of there because there's somebody I know who lives there.
Oh, okay.
I
All right,
wanna
guys,
see
take
it
care.
'cause that's an area I
See you
would
later.
think about.
Yeah.
You know, but
What was that, Larry? That's an area you
I
think
said
about?
that. Yeah, if I was going to move over there, that's an area I would consider because you're not too far from Manila.
Right.
All right.
To me, that's a drawback, but it has become an area I am considering.
Now, Dan says
I
he's
think-
at Shakey's Pizza in Ormoc City. They are
I think
excited.
Baguio would be a nice place to live.
Where?
Baguio. No, too hilly.
Yeah, but it's cool. You know, you don't need
Yeah.
air
Yeah, but
conditioning.
if I wanted cool, I'd go to Valencia.
Yeah.
To where? Oh,
Valencia.
Valencia,
That's just out of
which
Dumaguete.
is
yeah,
just
too many
outside of-
foreigners.
There's a lot of them in Baguio, too.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
because of the weather. Because of the weather.
Yep.
And very hilly. There's a lot of tourists in Baguio. A lot more tourists in Baguio than Valencia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It looks nice. It really looks.
Oh,
I've
yeah,
been
it does.
there a long
It
time
does.
ago, and
It does.
when
It
it
does
wasn't
look nice,
really
but
very
it just-
developed.
I
It had a
mean, it's
few
not a-
resorts.
It's not a bad place, but I think I want to put it on my list.
I think it would be just too much of a hassle to get in and out of there.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think you got to take a bus from Manila.
You got
and
to
it's a long ride.
either that or take a nail biting plane from Cebu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
even want to get on a plane. From the,
As I said,
Baguio.
nail biting plane or a bus. That's your choice.
Yeah.
Right. That's
The
a
only
good-
plane that goes there is from Cebu.
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't chance it.
Well, I don't know if you know who Mel Jean Salon.
Yeah.
That's her name, Salon. She took a plane in from Cebu and flew in. But that's where she lives,
Yeah.
in the Cebu area.
Right.
Okay.
But-
Well,
Yeah. Dan says too afraid of earthquakes. Baguio wouldn't work for me. I guess they get a lot of earthquakes.
I'm used to earthquakes.
I've been through them. That don't mean I want to go through them.
That's
Just like
right.
I've been through tornadoes. That don't mean I want to go through them.
Well, to be
Remember,
honest,
I'm
most
from the-
earthquakes they're not all that bad.
Most
Well,
aren't, but
it
it only
can be.
takes one.
Yeah,
It only
big
takes
one.
one.
I said, I'm from the Midwest, which gets a lot of tornadoes. That's where I'm originally from. And I've had tornadoes right around my house, a couple blocks from me. I've had to jump over my neighborhood. So I've been lucky enough to never hit the house I was in. But I've had a hit within 2 blocks of where I was living. It's not
Yeah,
something
I
I really
had-
want to go through.
Seems like in Japan there was earthquakes like every week, but they were small, you know.
Yeah.
But you could
Well,
feel
yeah.
it.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you get a lot of small ones, that keeps you from having the big ones a lot of times because it's releasing
Maybe.
the pressure. It's not building up. It's when
Maybe.
it doesn't
You might be
have one
right.
for a long time that you got to worry.
Yeah.
And tsunamis,
Like
a lot of
California
tsunamis
was
are
like
caused
that.
by earthquakes. Yeah, but a lot of tsunamis are caused by earthquakes out in the middle of the ocean.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, Japan has had some awful tsunamis.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Here
Well,
says
Alaska's had a
earthquakes
couple
here
too.
close roads for weeks. And yeah, Crazy Kid, I've seen more than 4, and you're right, they're not fun. And I lived in one neighborhood and jumped the whole neighborhood. And I mean, it was a. Hey Sam, how you doing, man? Dr. Sam's here.
Hey,
Sam,
how are you,
come on
Sam?
up if you want. If you want to come up, come on up, buddy. I'll even let you sing if you want. But like I said, it just
Man,
anywhere
that
you
sounds
live.
nasty. That's almost as bad as pineapple on a pizza.
Dan said the bus
No,
ride would
no.
kill me, frighten me to death.
Oh yeah, you're
I
going
can't
right. You're going
remember.
up a cliff.
I know it was a long bus ride.
Yeah, but you're going up the side of the mountain, so there's areas where you could almost look down and see the gorge that you're driving over.
Yeah,
And those buses
Well,
don't drive slow.
that sounds like half the roads I grew up on.
yeah.
Now, Dan, that you might like that scallops on pizza, but I'd rather have and I don't even want this, but I'd rather have the pineapple on the pizza. I'm not a fish or seafood. I like tuna. That's about the
I
only
like
fish
scallops as scallops, and I like shrimp as shrimp. Well, shrimp can be in a lot of stuff, and it's good. But
Japan is famous
I don't
for.
do fish. I don't do fish on pizza. Not even
What
anchovies.
about squid?
Oh hell no!
I've had squid 2 ways. Liked it one, didn't like it the other. Or I shouldn't say liked it. I didn't mind it one way.
Yeah,
It wasn't near
yeah.
salty.
The one
other way
one
was
time
too
I had
salty
it, I
and too
didn't
chewy.
mind it, but
It's
I
kind
knew
of
I didn't
rubbery,
want to do it
isn't it?
again.
Squid
Yeah,
is
crazy
can be a
kid.
little tough.
When you see that tide going way, way out, a lot more than normal.
Boy, it's
Get
time
the
to
hell
run
away from
now.
the beach. Get the
to
hell
the
away
high
from the
ground.
beach.
Climb a palm tree.
Palm trees aren't that strong. They'll get knocked down.
You get as far away as you can before that water starts coming, coming,
And
then
then
get
you
up the
get
big.
then you get as high
Yeah.
as you can when you get there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a fact. But
You know, in the northern Japan earthquake of 2011, I think it was, there were people, they went up to the tops of buildings, 4-story buildings, and the building was gone.
so
Yeah,
you want to
yeah,
get
that's
as far as you can. As far as you
Yep.
can.
Yeah.
And then as high as you can. Because that's the only chance you're really going to have.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, because that water comes whistling in there about 100 feet high
Oh,
or more,
God.
and at 20 or 30 miles an hour or more.
all right,
Yeah.
kid, quit cracking jokes. Tim says squid is rubbery if it's overcooked. The crazy kid says, so that's
Yeah,
what
it
they make
is.
rubber
It is. I agree.
bands
Yeah.
out of.
Squid is
So that's
always
what
a
they
bit
make rubber-
rubbery.
That's a good one, kid.
I thought so. Now, Dr. Sam,
That's what
now,
they
like
make
I said-
elastic bands out of.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Sam, now I have a Nightbot. If you want to drop your channel link, type in LLL. That's all you got to do, and my Nightbot will drop your channel.
Dan, where's
And like
my
I said-
5,000 pesos? I thought I won. You said
Oh,
I
I
didn't
won.
have to be present to win.
He hasn't. It's the end of the
I don't
month.
think he's. Yeah, he hasn't awarded that yet.
No, it's the end of the month.
Oh,
wish I could-
I'm too early.
I wish I could come up
Yeah,
with a
it's
good.
the end of the month.
Well, I think
I wish I could be.
I think those of us that don't live in the Philippines are excluded.
No, we are not eligible.
because you can't
Oh,
get
okay.
Gcash to us.
I don't know. We have to ask Dan. Yeah, Dan, can we
That's
live
what he
anywhere
said.
on
We're not-
planet Earth?
He's mentioned it a couple of times on his live streams.
Oh, I missed that
We're-
part.
we're
That's
not
in the
eligible.
fine print.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but he has mentioned
And,
it outright a couple of times. So
Now, guys, I don't know if any of you follow Bobby's Time to Get Going too. Every Friday he has a live stream, and they sing in the live stream.
okay, yeah,
the
Bobby's a good
Chronicles.
singer.
Oh yeah, well, Sam's Chronicles. That's Dr. Sam. He's a lot of times on the panel and sings, and he's a really good singer.
Oh, okay.
Him and Yinny, Yinny's there a lot. She's a good singer.
Who's that?
Yinny, Amada, I'm not sure how you pronounce the name.
Okay.
Yinny is Yennie.
Oh, Yenny. Yeah.
Yinny.
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
And she's a good singer. Do you go to Bobby's live stream?
I just learned something new.
I've been to it
A
a couple
mojo
times.
is a crisp fried potato wedge with ranch dressing.
Crispy fried
That
potato
sounds
wedge
good.
with ranch dressing. It sounds
That
good,
sounds
but
good.
Larry, it sounds good, but you and I shouldn't eat it.
Oh no! You're right. It's like the blooming onions. Those things
Yep.
are great, but we shouldn't be eating them.
Nope.
That's no problem, Sam. Like I said, if you like, you can come on up and sing a song for everybody if you want. Bobby's
Sure,
done it
that'd
here.
be great. These
Bobby
guys are
came
trying
one
to-
time.
These guys are trying to talk me into singing on some of the other channels.
But
They
don't
might
want
have
me
given
singing.
up. I don't know.
They
Oh,
Oh,
don't
come
want
on,
me
crazy
singing.
kid. Don't be shy. You got a good voice. We know it.
That's not what he says. Hey,
Yeah, but
my-
he's just being modest.
when there's singing competitions, everybody asks me to sing solo. All right, solo they can't hear me. Okay, that's how they want me to sing.
Yep.
Yeah, Tim, you're right. No problem, Sam. Anytime you want, I'm here every Saturday night. I start at 8:00 Eastern in New York time Eastern, and I go for who knows how long. And,
Yeah,
anytime-
his
if you or
record's
any
6.5
one-
hours, I think.
Yeah, my record's over 6 hours, but that's when I had the next day off. I don't no longer have the next day off, so I can't do those anymore. But anytime you or either one want to come on and sing a song or two, you're more than welcome. My channel is we just talk. We talk about whatever we want as long as it's not
Yep.
politics. You can talk about your work. You can talk about your channel. You can sing a song. You can talk about your love of someone. I don't care. You know.
Larry, if
long
we
as
get
you're
a couple of people singing on here, we might be able to get Sean Trucker, No BS, to come on, because
he's more than willing to come on if he wants to sing. All I ask is if you know the song will get me in trouble. I don't care if they say, "Oh,
he won't do that." He won't do that.
Yeah.
He's
no, I'm just saying anybody."
yeah.
Like Bobby, I got I forget what they call it, but it doesn't cost you anything. It just so what? It doesn't mean a thing. You can get all those you want, as long as it's that. I don't care. Now, if it's one of those that we're going to say, "Hey, look, you keep this up, we're going to ban your channel," that's different.
Right.
But
No, Sean won't do anything like that. So
yeah,
you don't have to worry
Sean
about
does
him.
it, Sammy does it, Robert does it.
Yeah.
And
You've probably heard Sean sing.
I've heard Sean sing on Sammy's channel.
Right. I was going to say he used to be on
Sam
he used to sing
Chronicles.
on there a
Sammy's another YouTuber that I know, and we had Erica on here. She's from Jizmar, Crazy Kid, and I know Crazy Kid and Jizmar about the same way. I think I met Crazy Kid through Jizmar, and Jizmar I think I might have met through Sammy. I don't remember.
It gets to be where you can't remember where you met him.
Well, I met Sammy through Dan. I know that. Now, Dan I met through Chris and Sabu.
Yeah.
Ed Denoy here I met through Chris and Sabu.
I think I met Sammy through Rainlin Hanga.
I met Sammy through Dan.
And then I met Dan through Sammy and you through
Yeah.
Sammy.
Yeah.
And
I think I met you through either Dan or Sammy. I don't know which.
yeah, I'm not 100% sure either.
Yeah, it's probably Dan, but I mean, it was in that area.
Yeah.
But like I said, a lot of people, a lot of people I met through Chris and Sabu. Those of you that don't know Chris and Cebu, he was a YouTube vlogger in the Philippines and naturally Cebu.
I kind of miss him.
Videos. I miss him.
I have never seen any of his stuff, but
he used to walk. I miss when he was in. I miss his walks around Cebu. Now his on the rooftop wasn't bad, but because we already knew each other and we interacted and everything else. Hey Ann, how you doing? Crystal Adventures here.
Hey, Crystals.
She's saying hi to everybody.
I'm surprised that Chris stopped because he seemed to. I remember him saying that, it was part of his routine.
Yeah,
for the, daily routine.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Dan said he saw an application because he's married to a Filipino, so he can get a work visa. So Dan said he saw he thought it was a resume online for Chris, so he's thinking he went to work. And then Jerry said, I call South Texas home. I also met through Chris and Cebu. Said that my lady said something she had talked to Chris. And he was doing okay, but she didn't see what he was doing. My lady Enchantress and Travel and Garden, or Garden and Travel. She's a vlogger. She right now is in Siquijor. She used to live in Cebu. Also met her through Chris and Cebu. I met a lot of people through Chris and Cebu.
Yeah. Yeah, his channel must not have been around once I started getting on here much.
Well, like I said, for a long time, he lived in Cebu, and he lived. It's not a big. It wasn't no Richie place. All right, his wife's Filipino. She worked. She had a job, and they had a daughter that he took to school, and they started doing videos together. They did some cooking videos, snack videos, and then she got she didn't really want to be on the videos anymore. His wife never did want to be on the videos, but he started doing walking videos. That's first live chats that I ever got in was Chris's, and it was a walking video. I wasn't sure how much I would like it. And so he's walking around Cebu, and you're seeing the people, you're seeing the businesses, and people are talking, asking questions or talking back and forth with each other. And matter of fact, this is why I started using the name Lazy Larry, was Chris and Cebu. And those of you that haven't gone and seen the video, I'll give you a quick synopsis. I was watching Chris and Cebu, and there was me, Larry Lee. There was a Larry G, a Larry B, and a couple other Larrys. So if he wanted to say, hey, Larry Lee or Larry B or Larry G, you're not listening close, you might thinking it was for somebody else that he was asking the question. So I thought I'll just change my name to Lazy Larry. We just lost a hand. Well, he took himself off. I didn't do it. But anyway, I changed my.
I thought he was coming back on, but
I didn't do it first. But anyway, so I started using the name Lazy Larry. So in case he wanted to ask me a question, he could just say Lazy or Lazy Larry, whichever he wanted. And that would stand out that I knew he was talking to me. And so once I started my own channel, I had people telling me they were having a hard time finding my channel. So I typed in Lazy Larry, and there's I had to go through pages of it. There's all these cartoons about a Lazy Larry. Some cartoon character named Lazy Larry. So I thought, well, I'll just add my last name to it, make it Lazy Larry Lee, and see what happens. And boom, you type in Lazy Larry Lee, I'm the first thing that pops up. So that's why I changed my channel to Lazy Larry Lee. Hey, Ed, you have a good night, man. It's nice of you to come up, boss. I'm glad to talk to you.
Nice talking to you, Ed.
And so you get a good night's sleep, buddy. So anyway, that's how I got the name Lazy Larry Lee. Now, the name of Lazy I got in high school. We won't go into that. If you really want to know that. Well, if you really want to know that, you can go check out my video on it. Hi, I'm Lazy Larry.
And Just the way
Like I
you
said-
said it. Just the way you said it struck me funny.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying. And then later on, I explained why I changed my name from Lazy Larry to Lazy Larry Lee. But
Yeah.
you know,
Hey, we know who you are, and we got you now. So
oh yeah.
that's
So
all that really matters.
But that's why I use the name Lazy Larry Lee and not just Larry Lee. Because come on, you know how many Larry Lees there got to be?
Apparently, quite a few.
I would think so. It's a common. Both names are common.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
there's only a couple of Leonard Lunds. So
Yeah. But see, when you got a name as common as mine,
yes.
you know, you got to come up with something to make yourself stand out.
Yep.
And the name Lazy, the nickname Lazy, was the name I got my senior year in high school.
Yeah.
So I hadn't used it since my senior year until I started doing the channel. I never really did use it. I had a teacher that called me Lazy Larry. And
Well,
that, like I said, it didn't
teachers
bother.
always give you weird nicknames.
Yeah. Well, he called my younger brother. He called Sleepy Lee. He goes, Lazy Larry and Sleepy Lee is what my younger brother used to say to me. But see, my younger brother and I both worked when we were in high school. We'd work 20 hours or more every week, plus go to high school full time. So sometimes you were a little tired and you'd take a nap in auto shop. Get underneath that car and go to sleep. Done that more than once. So I got the name Lazy Larry.
Yep. Well, my 9th grade football coach gave me the only nickname I ever had in high school.
What's that?
Lundigan.
Lundigan?
Yeah. Well, he kept saying, he wanted me to come up and do the drill. And he said, let's have Lundigan. Let's have Lundigan. And then it stuck.
Yeah. But no, like I said, I've had all kinds of nicknames over my lifetime. When I was in grade school living in Case, Illinois, and Boy Scout, there was a guy for some reason could not remember my name is Larry. He called me Opie because I reminded him of Opie Taylor.
Yeah.
So here I am. I'm in 5th and 6th grade.
Yeah.
And I'm probably I want to say 6th grade at the time. It might have been 5th. And I'm walking, and these girls that were in junior high and high school, they're a lot, in other words, they were older than me. They're going, there's Opie. Hi, Opie. Well, see, the town I was living in at that time was Casey, Illinois. There was only about 5,000 people. It was a very small town. And
Sounds
so
like my
everybody
hometown.
pretty much, yeah. Well, it wasn't my hometown. I just lived there for 2 years, 5th and 6th grade.
Okay.
But I like I said, I got that nickname from a kid from Boy Scouts, and I somehow got spread around that a lot of people knew that was my nickname. So when they saw me, it was "Hi, Opie." I will admit I was a little heavier than
Ronnie Howard.
Thank you, Ronnie Howard. I was going to say Ronnie Taylor. It's like no.
Well, I was trying. I wasn't going to help
Taylor.
you. I wasn't going to help you, but you seem to be stuttering a little there. So,
yeah, well, I was stuck trying to think of the right last name because, Taylor was coming to mind because it's Opie Taylor,
right?
Andy Taylor, Andy Griffith show, Andy Taylor, and now, kid, they're going to call you sir whether you want it or not.
Yep. That's just a
just
show of
polite
respect from and politeness from Filipinos.
It's either going to be sir or it's going to be Caillou, Tito. If you're really well known to them, they might call you Tito. That's just showing respect.
Yeah.
My dad always said, "Don't call me sir. I don't wear a hat and don't own a dog." Well, I don't own a dog, but I wear a hat.
Yeah.
And I only wear a hat because of that. I'm going bald.
Yeah.
This is
I
Not
may
here,
have to
this-
start wearing a hat here one of these days myself.
Well, I
I'm
wear the
getting
hat.
pretty thin on top.
Well, I worry about skin cancer.
Yeah.
You know, I had there's a bunch of spots here that I had on my forehead that are precancers.
Yeah.
So, and then I got all these spots on my hands that were precancers. So, and my father had skin cancer on his neck that was cut out and never returned. So he was given a clean bill of health
Yeah.
before he passed away from the skin cancer. But so it runs in the family a little bit, you know. And
Yeah. I've got an uncle that has had several skin cancers on his face.
like I said, mine's been my hands and my forehead. Who knows? There might be some spots on my face, but nothing that I can see, not yet.
Yeah.
I've been treated for that on my hands for a few years. This is the first year I did my forehead, so it was much later.
Yeah.
But the top of my head, I think, is fairly safe because I used to have real thick hair.
Yeah.
And, that's what my dad used to say. I used to say, I work for a living. I'm not an officer. I was in the Navy. Only officers are sirs.
Yep.
So, but like I said, if it's a sign of respect and they're younger than I am, and I don't mean by a little, I mean by a lot, I'll take the sir. If they're only a little younger than me, I would prefer Poe or Caillou. You know, but there again, I'll leave it up to them. It's their way of showing respect, and I will not disrespect them by saying, "Don't call me that." You know, they're just trying to be polite and respectful, and that's fine.
Yep.
Sometimes they'll call you brother or sis if you're a female. Also, as a way of doing it, which is fine.
Yeah, they're very
Yes,
respectful.
Yes, and very. The respectful part, you know, the way they show it is okay with me, but what I like is their friendliness. You know.
Yep.
And well, I'll tell you the truth, people. It's going on 11 o'clock here in where I live.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to be shutting it. I'm going to be shutting this down because I'm going to have to start getting ready for bed.
Yeah, it's nearly that time for me too.
Like I said, I could go another hour, but unless somebody else wants to come up and join us, it's kind of hard for you and I just to carry this conversation.
Well, we can, but
Yeah, we can.
that's up to you.
Jasmine, if you want to come up, Kid, you want to come up? Chris, you know, anybody that's willing to come on up, and we'll stay another half hour to an hour. Yeah, he's a bloodsucker. And Denoy says I work part-time as a vampire. So Dan says you're a bloodsucker, Ed. Tim's calling it a day. He said take care of Larry and Leonard.
All right, Tim, you take care too. Talk to you next time.
And Crazy Kid's getting ready. Well, Kid, 9:30 p.m. Are you talking Sunday night? Because it's already past that here where I'm at. We're going on 11 o'clock where I'm at.
Yep.
And well, Jasmine, I give out very few jackets. I'll give you and Kid one. Usually I just have people type in LLL on my Notbot, drops everybody. And then let me get this out of my way. Whoops. It's just what the heck's going on here, Larry? But like I said, I just usually just have everybody type in LLL, and it'll drop their link for them. That way I don't have to give everybody a jacket, but I'll give some of you that I've known for quite a while a jacket. Leonard's got one, I believe. Dan's
Can't
got
remember.
one. I'll type something in and I'll tell you.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know Dan's got one, and
I'll type
Jerry-
LLL, but
but Jerry's got one. There's a few people that's got.
yeah, Crazy
one.
Kid has one.
I just gave it to him. I just gave
Oh,
Green
okay.
Kid and Jizmar both. I think Sammy's got one. I'm not sure about Robert Simmons. I think he may have one. But
I haven't seen him today on this chat on the chat, but
I see something. Ed says, Ed Denoy asked Dan, do you need a payday loan? And Dan says, no thanks, Ed. I'm a very bad risk. No job.
yeah,
Dan, I would have said, yeah. And then let him know after you get the loan that you never get it. You don't have a payday, so you never have to pay it back.
yeah, yep.
But like I said, yeah, like I said, yeah, Crystal's got I gave Crystal a jacket. Checking the
Yeah.
cash for you, awesome. But yeah, it just like I said, the thing I regret about working the weekends is the live stream, but I can't see changing the day. I may add another day some other time. If I do, it's going to have to coincide with Dan's again. I like following Dan, or
Yeah,
if necessary, being ahead of Dan, one way or the other. I think it's a great fit because I really like Dan's channel. I really like having,
yeah,
feeding off each other as much as we can.
yep.
But now Dan's got a lot more followers than I do. He's well over 1,000. I'm not even to 500 yet. But mine's more about having fun, enjoying myself. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to get to 1,000. I'd love to have the hours and get monetized. I would love that. But if it never happens, it never happens. I want to keep on doing what I'm doing.
Yep. I got to get some content though, or I'll never get. I'll never get.
You're right. You got to have content, and
Yep.
Shorts is really all you got to do, pretty much.
Yeah, I got to get something
entertain-
longer than the ones I've done.
Yeah.
The ones I've got
I
are
don't-
very, very short.
I don't do enough right now. I do maybe one, either short or a long video a week. This week I did 2. I did the first one that was showing the snow. It was snowing. No. Talking about the snow was the first one, I think. No, that was the second one. What was the first one? Don't remember what the first one was. I'd have to look. But I did, I think got something like 200 and some views on it was about snow. It was a winter storm. So it was a winter storm coming in. And then the next one was talking about getting ready for another storm. And I was showing how the water was standing around in some of the areas being puddled. And it's talking about, they got another storm coming in tonight. And that's going to freeze up, and then it's going to snow, and it's going to cover up that. So people are going to have to really be careful.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, yeah. Because, if the ice is covered, and you step on it and you're not ready, you can go down and get hurt real bad.
Yeah, it's not very fun to drive on either.
All right. Jasmine says, guys, I have a new upload short video, photo shoot in the Philippines. So you can go to her channel and check it out.
Yeah, let me do that.
I don't have to do that right now. I happen to be a member of her channel. I've been following her for a while. And yeah, Jasmine, I'll be going to bed pretty soon. It's not because it's getting late. The late part doesn't bother me. It's the fact that I have to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
I am a night owl. I'm going to tell you the truth. If I wasn't working, I'd be up late. And I used to start at 7 o'clock at night, and I would go to midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, all the time. And I did over 6 hours one time, so that was from 7 to 1, a little after 1. If I did that now, it would be after 2, and that's too late, so I can't do a 6 hour. I can still do 3 and 4s. And, but it is getting late, guys. I know one wanting to come up, so I'm actually going to shut this one down and get ready to go to bed. So I want to thank my
Larry.
co-host Leonard for
Thanks
coming up
for
and
having
keeping
me.
me company. And I want to thank everybody that is still in the chat for coming. And I want to remind you guys to be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe and healthy. Plus, as always, try to have fun. Take care, everybody.
Thank you,
See you in
Larry.
the next one. All right. Bye.